and welcome to another very exciting episode of Loss of Lieutenant. This is our second episode on tags, number 142, the definitive N5 tag tier list, where we have had the most impeccable timing as there was an update that has drastically affected this tier list like 2 days ago. My name is Jordan. I am joined tonight by Nick.
Hello.
Tristan.
Hello.
And Josh, as well as the 7 or 8 women in his house.
6. And
6.
hello.
Alright. How are we feeling tonight about this, boys?
Combative.
I'm glad that I procrastinated making my tier list.
Yep,
That's
I am waiting for the fucking firebomb to be sent to my house after this.
Yes. When we said definitive, that also means extremely controversial.
And
Depending
full
on
of
which
scientific
country you're
evidence
from.
and backing.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitive, that's why it's scientific, clearly.
Or which discords you frequent.
Yep.
We're gonna make
Or which channels in said discords that you frequent.
As a fun reminder to everyone, though, if you would have the desire to be here live where you can ask us questions, and in the case of this specific episode, yell at us, tell us we're wrong, or tell us that we are goated, you can head over to patreon.com/lossoflieutenant and become one of our lovely cocks for the low cost of $3 Australian a month. Alright, shall we get into this?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Alright, cool.
Alright. Number one, what I think is probably a really good baseline for a tier list is the Squalo Mark II.
S.
I was going A.
I was having it low A.
Yeah.
It's higher. It's an S6 tag that has a multi-H. It's got a bunch of options. So you've got a multi-HMG and NCO, or you have the HMG plus grenade launcher, or you also have the multi-marksman rifle if you're doing funky duo stuff, which is totally viable because of how cheap they are. It's close to one of the cheapest multi-HMGs on a game on an S6 platform as well, which makes it more maneuverable than the majority of S7 tags. And unlike a certain S7 tag that I'm sure there's going to be arguments about with grenade launchers, it has a close-up weapon as well.
Yeah, multi-pistol +1 burst is not bad. It's not a template, but it'll do the job.
On BS15.
Yes.
Well, it's gonna go in A, and we're gonna, as more tags hit up there, maybe it'll go a little bit lower. I hope so, anyway.
I don't think so. I think you're dreaming.
Well,
It's an A tier tag that might be pushed to S tier because of its duo capability and some of the factions it's in. I think it's probably...
Yeah, I think the only real limiting factor to it is you actually need to make choices on which profile you pick.
Yeah. I think that in all the lists it comes in, that sort of like 55, like 50... No, you're not taking that. The 66.1, which is the one you're taking, it's either a slot that like you've already got something that you want to put in the list for, or it takes up 2 slots of like primo HI. So that could be just heavy machine guns. Like, how often do you actually need a multi-heavy machine gun? I have asked this lots.
The AP is important because, like,
well, just have an AP HMG. Like, I mean, like it's. I don't think it's.
Well, which AP HMG though?
Well, no, I'm just sort of like, you're paying for a multi-HMG on a tag that, yes, it's going to use it because it's BS15 and it's like S6 and whatever.
You're also just paying for the fact that it has NCO because it's like 2 points more expensive than the HMG option.
Yeah,
well,
it has quite good duos and stuff that's in as well.
If you're going for a second one of them, I think the grenade launcher starts to look a little bit more attractive.
Are you doing this in faction?
Sorry?
Like within a particular like.
No, because then
like, are we comparing this to other tags, I guess, or are we doing like is the basis of our
their performance in faction?
I would say it's really difficult to take it out of the context of the faction, because then it is like definitive just math. of which tag is better.
Yeah. I think that I'm having a look at the factions the Squalus is in. You're looking at Kestrel. Apologies. You're looking at Kestrel or you're looking at Vanilla. Kestrel, you've already got the Tick Blang. You're not taking both of those, and you're probably taking the Tick Blang, spoiler alert, over the Squalus.
That sort of depends, because like, again, it is important. If like the HMG is fine on the Tick Blang, but if you do come up against something like Armor 5 sitting in cover, you can just end up pissing away a bunch of orders.
You can, but you've got other tools for that. And then and in Vanilla, I mean, you've just got every other tag in Pano. Like, I don't know how often.
Not quite.
No, not quite. No.
Yeah, the list has gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's the only tag. It's the only tag in Vanilla other than the Cutter that has AP.
Yeah. You just have Yotm. You just don't have the Yotm
and the Serif.
So, and the Serif. Apologies.
Oh my god, if there was Serif in fucking Vanilla.
Do I rate Squalus? Yes, I do rate the Squalus. It's quite good, but like it's not pushing S. It's A.
Oh no, definitely A.
Yeah.
All right, that's all right. We can leave it there. We can decide whether or not the Cutter is above the Squalo. I think it is.
Yes,
it is. It's in A tier above the Squalo.
I would be tempted to say it's low S.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make an argument that I don't think the Cutter is ever an S tier tag in its current state, because it absorbs too much attention in your list to make it work. And there are situations where it's so skill dependent on how that list performs that if you come up against an equally skilled opponent, you're putting all your marbles into one model, and if they make a good play, you could just be like, oh, my best gun's a Fennec Thunderbolt now, or
a TR. I think the Cutter has the Avatar problem. It is a third of your list, and in a faction that is relatively expensive already, I think that
it's actually not too bad expensive wise.
I would rate it better than the Avatar, specifically because it's got marker state and hidden deployment, and you don't care quite as much about only bringing one order.
What do you think, Jordan? You've run the Cutter quite a bit.
So I think I think saying that it takes up too much of your list is potentially a little bit overblown. Like with the lists I've been writing, I've been able to fit in a Cutter, a power duo in the form of either the Bolts or the Kahoos, and then on top of that, you also get stuff like you still get your Helots, you still get a Thunderbolt TR bot, because the Thunderbolt TR bot is sort of just better than the HMG one in most cases. And especially now that you're no longer sort of locked into taking the Machinist with turret, that also frees up more points. And along with that, the new Stealth Ops keyword means that you're really incentivized to take that Teuton as well, who fits into the list very nicely and gives you that CC insurance along with the Motorized Bounty Hunter. I think the list pulls its weight very effectively. I'd be pretty happy putting it in like a low S. Like, for instance, like I've had games where I've lost the Cutter. For instance, Josh and I played a game 2 weeks ago where I lost the Cutter before I got to play a turn with it, and the game still went all 3 turns, and it was close pretty much down to the wire.
Is that more a testament to Pano than it is the Cutter, though?
But if we're talking about it in faction, saying it takes up too much air in your list loses a lot of weight when the list is still performing even after losing it.
Yep.
That's true. All right. Well, what do you think? High A or low S?
I would say low S, personally. If we feel like it's being overshadowed by everything else in S, we can knock it down, potentially. But I think the fact that it is such a unique tag in that it's super hard to interact with. Your opponent generally needs to get a little bit lucky to get an angle on it to get the Discover if they're going to try that route. And sometimes it just isn't worth it. Like, the fact that the game plan generally against the Cutter is to try and, like, kill everything else besides it points to how strong it is in a lot of cases. And I think in N5 specifically, with everything getting cheaper, it's gotten a lot easier to support it inside of a list.
Cool. All
I
right.
don't know if anyone feels any differently to me though.
No, I think it is not quite the definition of an S tier tag, but it definitely sets a bar for where S tier starts.
Potentially. I kind of think it's that gateway. Like, if you're better than the Cutter, you're an S tier tag, but not quite S tier. But we'll see how we go.
Okay.
Now we come to probably a mediocre Pano tag, which is the Yotm.
Hard to call a Pano tag like mediocre, right? Like BS15 Remprez does a lot of heavy lifting.
Mediocre in the context of Pano tags.
Yes, but it's also in the context of Svalheimer.
Yes.
Because that's the only place it is
The
now.
only place that it gets to exist.
So I think it ends up being better than it would if you just compared it head to head with other Pano tags.
It's. I mean, look, it's here for the 3 people that play Svalheimer. But I think it's probably low A for everybody else. Functionally immune to small arms fire is a thing that is that is something that does carry weight. Like if you've managed to blow out all of your opponents like big guns, which I mean, look, maybe Svalheim is able to do, then the Yotm just goes, oh, I'm suppressive in the middle of the table and you can't really dislodge me.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that the Yotm has over both the Cutter and the Squalos is the fact that it's got access to a template weapon. Which means that, you know, if you can't just dumpster a warband that comes like a tag wants to be trading with a skirmisher that is killing it, right? You don't want it to like, which is probably why I rate the Cutter and the Squalos less. You know, if you have Shinobu running at you, you want to be able to take out Shinobu because Shinobu, if Shinobu kills your tag, the rest of your deployment zone opens up, right? So I think a template weapon like the heavy flamethrower is something that should be on every S tier tag. So that's probably where I would probably bump down the Carter. But Yotm, I think that it's, I mean, in the context of where it is, it's a BS15 multi HMG with a heavy flamethrower. I think it's and his armor 10 and BTS 9. It's certainly an A tier, low A tier tag.
I think the only thing I'd say as a mark against it is that while like the armor stat is impressive and having immune crit is very good, it does sort of fall into that category of like the things that are becoming uniquely better against tags this edition with stuff like emitters are very good about just ignoring the thing the Yotm is good at. And then your opponent needs to use time on, you know, whip 12, either trying to fix it or give it a speedball. That's the only thing I would say, is that the things that are good against tags now, like, are sort of bypassing one of the main strengths of the Yotm.
Honestly, emitter isn't as scary for the Yotm just because it is BTS 9. Because that goes down to 5, back up to 8 with cover, so you're saving on 15s.
True.
Yeah, I feel like the amount of AP in the game now, though, kind of just makes 10 armor not worth the 10 points you're paying for it.
Like, you definitely have to back it up with the army that can hunt down the guns that threaten it. But the number of guns that threaten it typically is not that high.
I don't know. Any other tag gun that is a multi-HMG threatens it pretty well. Like, it's only 1 armor difference with AP. It does have an LT profile, which is in its favor. It's just 82 points. It is quite expensive.
Like, you are paying through the nose for the fact that it has... Well, you can compare it to the Raicho even, right? Where the Raicho has crit immune, 1 less BS, isn't Remprez, and has that slightly less armor, and that saves you like 10 points. Like, the difference is there. It just depends on like how much you sort of value that.
Well,
I don't really understand why the Yotm is paying for a Panzerfaust on a multi-HMG platform, but
Yeah, I'm not sure of that either.
Because it's cool.
I guess it's the AP explosive, right?
Because they made a
yeah.
model with a Panzerfaust, so it needs to keep it.
Yeah, true.
Probably. It provides a little interesting twist on its arrows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of had it mid to high B.
I actually agree with Tristan.
You guys had it low A?
Yeah,
I think
low A.
that by virtue of it being a BS-15 Armor 10 BTS 9 multi-HMG, I think it has to be an A. It has to be an A. Like, I'm happy to, like, you've got to think that B is our watermark, right? Like,
yes,
B is our like, you are happy to take this in most circumstances. A is like you're really happy, and the S is like it's list defining, right? Like it's it's faction defining. So I think A is probably where it's at. Like I wouldn't necessarily take 2 Yotems, but probably take 1 if I happen to, become the 4th Svalaheimer player in the world.
Yeah, well, again, it depends on if we want to bell curve this or not. If this is more objective, like S is like a certain metric you have to hit, or if it's a bell curve in which there's only so many S's, so many A's.
Look, I'm being super vibey here. Like it doesn't really matter.
Super vibey. That's fine.
But that's how I see it. Like B is your baseline. B for baseline. And so I think that if you want a BS-15 Armor 10 tag in your baseline, sure, never take another tag ever again. But like it's still got all of that stuff. It's even got a terrain skill, for Christ's sake. Like, I mean, the mountain terrain isn't really doing much, but it's immune crit, it's remote presence, it's BS-15, it's Armor 10, BS-9. Like, it's
hard to rank a Pano tag lower than A because like that Rempres skill just gives you so much value.
It does. It really, really does. Like, I mean, obviously, you have to have Rempres because if your engineers fucking accidentally press the wrong button, which they're inclined to do because they don't have fucking, they've got a 3rd grade education, then it's yeah, I don't know. Like, I think low A is appropriate.
All right, we'll move on. Tick Balang.
Oh.
This is a hard one. I was of a mind where it's kind of equal to the Squalo because it does different things, but I think they're equally viable. But I don't know
they're equally viable in different ways.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure if a Tick Balang is as consistent as a Squalo.
Yeah, I think in every place you can take the Tick, you can also take the Squalos.
No, Emo, but Emo has the Serif, so...
Okay. Oh, right, the Emo has Serifs. Yeah. So, every place that you can take the Tick, you're competing with another BS-15 tag that has a multi or an AP weapon.
Yeah, I think the killer is, if you're taking the Tick, it's always your LT. If you're taking the Squalo, it's never your LT. So...
It is hard to find a reason to take the non-LT Tick, especially when in the factions you can take it other than MO, you have very easy access to a 19-point model that has counter intel and cock.
Yeah. Obviously,
21 points.
It is a climbing plus tag, so it does benefit from the new changes. It loves to glide up walls.
Being able to wall run again is huge for it.
It's also got one of the best AROs in response to seeing a camera marker outside of 8 inches. You drop a shock mine. Like, having a shock mine on a Tick Balang on a tag is insanely good. Insanely good. So I think I personally would rate it above the Squalos.
Really?
Mimetism climbing plus edges it out for me, and then having a shock mine means it's just an extra defensive thing. Like if you've positioned your tag in a way that it sees something like an Oniwa man coming towards it from further than 8 inches away, and it can just drop a shockman. Hell, even if the only wildman is coming from inside 8 inches, you can drop the shockman behind you, like on the other side of the tag, and then the only wildman like walks into you heavy flamethrower or whatever. Like it's still like you can always position it in a way that you can drop the shock mine without it triggering on the only wildman. So on the skirmisher. So I think that like I really like the tick. I think it's
I really like it too. Again, if the biggest kicker against it is that it doesn't have
gonna
AP.
call out Ivory here saying that I'm so JSA brain rotted. Ivory, you need to really think about what's an actual danger to a tag. Like whenever you drop a tag into a game, you go, what do I actually have to watch out for? Lots of things a tag can't protect itself from, like hacking, defense, AP ammunition, something like that. Like unless they're immune arm, which would be crazy. So you're now thinking about what is actually a existential threat to my tag. A skirmisher deploying on your deployment zone line, or even halfway up the board, is probably the one thing that you are scared of that a tag can defend itself from, or at least trade down with. So it's definitely something that you need to think about in terms of like when you're ranking these things. So yeah, sure. I'm bringing up things like JSA, but like read, put in Andromeda, put in
For days.
for days. Yeah, like all of these things are like, speculators. Like all of these things are like, if I say only one man, I mean a wide range of skirmishes that can be on your tag's ass within a couple of orders. So I think that that's definitely something where we need to think about when we're ranking these tags.
The shockmine utility helps a lot. Again, the choice right between the tick and the squallows ends up being a matter of cost and how much does the AP matter to you, basically. Because if you can easily source AP into the rest of the list with, for instance, another model that got really good with the update, a Kahu, right? The Kahu duo got a lot better with the update because being able to war run again helps the mobility a lot, and it brings a very easy source of AP in the form of that foyer back. Or Hectari shooters, just any of like the easy sort of sources of AP you kind of find yourself having in Pano.
Yeah, I also don't think that AP is really all that necessary, to be completely honest with you. Like a BS, like an SR -1 HMG will get you across the line in most cases, unless you're up against Valheimer, and then you shit out of luck. Take your Squalus list instead of your Tickbalang list.
The point I was getting to is that I do think it is probably better than the Squallows. Because of the extra
we agree.
Yes, we do. Josh is like, I'm so used to being combative with Jordan, I don't know what it's like when he agrees with me.
What is this?
I guess the fact that you have, 19-point chain of command kind of makes
21
it...
point.
21? Yeah, I guess 21. That makes it worth it.
Well, because it's chain of command and counter intel as well. So it's like your opponent is just almost never going to strip you, and it's like, well, oh no, here's my +1 order LT tag. I'm generating just more orders than you, and you don't get to strip me favorably either.
It also duos with a NCO engineer, like.
Yes, it does in Kestrel.
Like, I mean,
you can't.
I don't think you're taking
vanilla, unfortunately.
I don't think you're taking the ticket vanilla, to be honest. But like, you might.
You might.
I think you can.
Yeah.
I think you can.
All right. We'll pop it there.
I like that.
Cool. Now comes potentially Fall from Grace. Don't know what you guys think, but we have the Serif. Super Jump got one of its legs chopped off, but the other leg is still strong and muscly and can hop along.
I think the Serif with Super Jump changes is still... I don't think it's much changed.
I think it's significantly more than people think it is.
because it's now super jumping 9 inches and then doing something. And with the rest of the super jump units also losing that second movement, it's faster, and as long as you don't just want to double move.
But I think that's the key. I think what super jump models could do before that was really gross is they could jump onto and then off of a building in a single order. Currently, the Serif needs 2 orders to probably get on the building and then get off the building. So unless you're super jumping or just moving on base floor, I think just avoiding terrain is actually, it's not faster. Or it's not as fast as it was.
Yes, it's going to be faster to go around terrain now than over it.
Which could just have the same effect of it costs a little bit more orders than it used to.
I think one of the things that, in my opinion, outside of this even probably keeps it from being an S tier as well, is the fact that it is shackled to military orders.
Yes.
Even though MO has gotten a lot better in N5 with a lot of like the points reductions it's gotten and the improvements to things like Knights of Santiago, where like super jump jet propulsion makes that combat drop a lot less painful when you do lose it. The fact is, building a list that supports a Serif was a lot like building a list that supports the AP Tick Balang in the previous edition, in that you can certainly do it, but you are left feeling thin on the ground. Like, I've built Serif lists in MO for people, and just for my own amusement, and you do sort of look at the list and go, yeah, we're all in on the Serif doing everything that it needs to do in this game. And it will 100% do it a lot of the time, but when it doesn't do it, you're sort of left to fall back on MO tools, which aren't always the best.
Yeah, because it's in a faction where the average minimum price on the models is higher per order than most others. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to find the points to fit in both the Serif and its order pool.
Like, their Whip 12 engineer just costs more than the machinist, which is like, it's wild, right?
Another thing to mention is, since its first super jump is actually more, it can jump higher than it previously could.
Yes.
So if it's on top of a roof, it can, I think it's 70 mil tall, or 67 mil tall, something like that, and it can jump 4.5 up, plus the 70 mil, which is 2.5 inches or whatever. So it basically has 7 inches of like lethal height, which is a fuckload.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. If you do not ever assume that you are safe from a Serif jumping really, really fucking high.
So I guess the question is, I'm guessing everyone here agrees it's probably not the best tag in the game.
No, I don't think so.
Is it still an S tier tag?
I think it's in the A tier because of its faction.
Jordan?
I think it is probably currently at the top of A. Again, right? Like, on raw power level, even with the adjustment to super jump, it's still an exceptional tag. Like, it's absolutely obscenely exceptional and very, very cost-effective, cheap as well for what you get. But it exists in military orders, which do like struggle to support it as well as you would hope. Like, I've watched Serif lists play out, and if the Serif isn't doing everything on the table, you're sort of left holding a lot of like oddly shaped Lego bricks.
Josh, you're in deep contemplation.
Look, I think that it loses a lot from not being able to double super jump. It's an Armor 7 tag. On orders that it is super jumping, it definitely doesn't want to be face-to-facing something. Like, if you jump and accidentally 33-inch a missile launcher, like, you are shitting yourself. Look, I still think it's pretty good though.
Yeah.
What's the general consensus? A? Top of A?
Better than top of A.
Yeah.
Better than Tick Balang?
Probably, like, on cost alone,
Yeah, it
It's
is only
hard.
72 points.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
yep.
hard.
There's
It's very,
72
very
points for the
difficult.
AP Spitfire,
What's the HMG?
Well, it's 74 for
74.
the multi-HMG.
It's still cheaper
but you
than the...
lose the crab bot, the ox bot. Sorry,
Ox
if
bot.
you're doing the multi
Yeah.
HMG,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is something.
I think the super jump change affects it a lot just in terms of mobility as well.
Mhm.
Like, if it could super jump 4 inches with that second short skill, it would be way more mobile, is the thing. The fact that it has to super jump 9 inches, do whatever movement it wants, and then hit the ground, hit horizontal, can't land on the building, and then move 4 inches, really limits the way it can move around a table, which
Forgive
before
my
it wasn't limited.
Is there a long skill super jump now?
Yes.
And what does
so.
it give you?
4?
Oh,
So you should super jump distance +4.
No, I think it's still movement +4.
Oh, right.
so it gets an
So
extra
you don't
inch.
get to add your super jump onto it.
I believe so, but I'd have to check.
I'll have a look now. But
Ivory, isn't super
I think
jump
so. I
only
think-
the first short skill, not the second?
Yes.
it is
Oh,
only the first short skill.
Yeah,
It
first
must
skill.
be the first
Correct.
short skill.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
If you super jump and then move, you have to use your second movement skill or second movement value.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, you're moving second. That's the second time you're moving in the game.
Yeah.
All right. Let's have.
I think the super jump changes have actually like it will affect it more than you think it will, like until you get it on the table, basically.
Yeah, I agree. People don't think about that second 8-inch move. Like, getting on the building with 8 inches and then getting off the building with 8 inches is insane. But only being able to get on the building with 8 and then you have to move 2 and then you're at the edge of the building.
So you only jump 10 inches if you so it's a long it's exactly what you said, Nick. You lose the extra 2 inches from the jump skill and you get 4 inches instead.
So
which means
long
the super
skill jump is just
number skill.
garbage.
Yes.
Long skill jump is for the most part a non-skill unless you have some weird situation where you're trying to jump a gap and just happen to need that extra inch or two.
Yeah.
Excuse me, by the way, guys. I'm getting over a cold, so if you do hear me sniffling or coughing, I apologize.
That's fine.
It's all right. Well, so we think high A
We've all been there.
better than
Yeah,
tick.
I think high.
I don't think it's better than Tick, but like personally,
I think the thing that holds me back, right, is that it is hard to support in military orders, whereas the Tick and the Swallows are so easy to support in the sectorials and faction, like in the sectorial and vanilla faction that they're in. If you could take a Serif in vanilla, I would be more than happy to say that it's better than both the Tick and the Swallows.
Okay.
But I think where it sits in MO makes it hard for me to go, yeah, it's just better than them, because I struggle to sort of see that. I don't know how
I can
if
agree
it's the
there.
same way you guys feel.
yeah, I like it there.
Cool.
If I can say something though, something that annoys me about the Serif is because it is so good and is held back by the fact that it is in MO. I feel like it puts a lid on how much CB can actually like give MO a proper tune-up.
Yeah, that's
Because as soon as they give MO a second flash pulse bot, it becomes a problem.
They can't give a proper tune-up without actually having a look at the Serif. But I think that it's mostly fine. I don't see any reason why we can shit on it any further than that. I think it's good.
All right.
100%.
We've
It's
established
certainly an A-tier tag.
We've established the Pano tags are pretty good.
Absolutely.
How about Yujing tags? The Guija, Serif's slightly more ugly little brother.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? I had it
B.
Yeah, I had
B.
it mid B. It's
I had it
fairly.
Yep. Sorry, it is a tag that is like paying for those like CC skills, and like through the nose for those CC skills. Like the Serif is 70 points, the Guija is like 80 something.
Yeah, it doesn't have the Rempres.
The Guija is 77.
Oh, so I thought it was still 80 something. My apologies. No, you are right. It is 77 points. I take that back.
Its super jump isn't as good. It does get a template weapon, but the CC skills are not bloat, but a little bit of extra cost. No Rempres, Well, I don't know how much everyone else values Remprez, but
I have a lot.
yeah, it's pretty good.
It's just a safety. It's just a nice safety net to have. It makes you like way less concerned about what ends up happening to a model when you know that you have X number of command tokens to back it up. It's a little less of a concern now that like auto repair exists. Because like auto repair has made like those non-Remprez tags good because you can just sort of get that free recovery on them. But if you have to try and repair it after that, that's when it kind of does get a little bit dicey.
Yeah, it's just fairly boring and a little bit more expensive than it needs to be. So I'd probably chuck it in B as well.
Yep.
But it looks fire, though.
Looks good.
It's a great model.
It is a great model.
My favorite Guija is the destroyed one on the base of Josh's Oyuroi.
All right, it's time for the new boys on the block, the Long Wang.
Lower B? I'm really not sure how to rate it because I don't know how it plays yet.
I had it in high C.
Yeah, hey, Tristan, same.
It's armor 7, which is good for S6, but base attack minus 3. Base attack minus 3 is worse mimetism, probably. It has it's paying for a biometric visor. Cool. Yeah, I don't need it.
Top.
It doesn't have a particularly good template weapon in a light riot stopper. And
it's not even a heavy one.
And I'm guessing Jordan hates optional NCO. So it's 72 points for a regular HMG, which is around the cost of a tick, but it gives you none of the benefits.
Well,
it is a worst prime.
The better comparison is the Guija.
It is a worst prime. It has the same gun as a prime.
It's
20 more points more expensive than a prime. It's C.
Yeah, I think it's C.
Sorry, I don't know.
Oh,
I am willing to be surprised by someone piloting a Donglong to a success in ISS, but I will need to see it to believe it.
I do agree with Donovan. He's just said it's an S tier name. I have every single ISS list that I have written is called Long Wang of the Law. And you will not stop me from writing ISS lists with a Long Wang in it.
Look how every genre list has a fake reference.
Alrighty. Now, last time Lost Lieutenant did a tier list, someone decided to put this tag lower than it deserved, and it made me mad. So we're going to give it justice this time. The Blue Wolf.
Justice for the Blue Wolf.
I love the Blue Wolf. Absolutely love the Guija.
Yep. What did I have it? I had
it's a much better tag than the Guija.
Yep. Blue Wolf is good. It does. The only thing that I will say against it is its defense with Berserk is down because you're face to face now. So you can't just berserk something to break CC.
No, but it's got 10 inches worth of berserk.
But I don't think CC skills on tags are aggressive skills. I think they're more defensive skills. So
it was definitely a defensive skill. The fact that you have the option, it's super niche, right? But the fact that you have a +1 burst Panzerfaust when you when your other gun is limited to the 24 inches is actually legit. Like the BS attack +1 burst is like real. It's also got, and that also gives it a +1 burst heavy flamethrower as well.
Yeah.
And all the factions the Blue Wolf have now have really good hacking defense and active pitches, which kind of opens the way for it a bit more. So yeah, I'd probably put it above the Guija. It is fairly expensive for just a Spitfire tag. Heavy flamethrowers are really good though. It's difficult now to run into the DZ with something like this when there's so many hackers.
It's a burst 5 AP Spitfire, like it's
good.
It's good work.
It's good.
So the other thing as well I will say is that Yujing's overall like DZ defense has gotten a lot better with the addition of Gudan. They make keeping your DZ safe a lot easier. The fact that you just get these two arseholes with giant fucking zapper templates dumping on people trying to walk into your DZ, makes it that much harder to walk up to a blue wolf.
Yep. All right. Above.
Does it get like low A behind the Yotm? I'm just throwing it out there.
I think its points still keep it in high B.
Okay.
I think there
Points
are enough
keep it in
tags
high B.
better than it.
Mhm.
That we'll see.
It's B for Blue Wolf. Like it's.
Oh, true. Ivory's made a really good point there. They have like all the disco balls in the world to help
do.
get it in range. Because one of the things that really used to fuck, especially White Banner, was a single visor ARO piece. Now you can actually safely avoid those things.
I think it's also with the points decrease across the board. I think it might be cheap enough, like to actually be paired with some like proper units. So it might I'm a bit it could go either way.
I personally could see it in the same realm as the Yotm, because you have a lot of the same tools that Yodoms have, because you've got Liang Kai, who can pair with monks, who are some of the best warbands in the game, especially considering they're one of those sources of linked smoke as well.
I'm happy to pull the Yotm back to B.
The blue wolf's just grabbing its ankles and dragging it down.
I think given where you can take it, having an a +1 burst AP Spitfire is okay, because Yujing does not suffer for having good BS long-range weapons on their heavy infantry.
Yeah, so Ivory's made a good point as well. You can fit the Blue Wolf and like the 4-man Hate link pretty comfortably in a list as well. Like I've built those lists and they actually fit surprisingly well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm putting the Blue Wolf in A.
Okay.
Over the Yotm? Or wait, are we putting the Blue Wolf in A over the Yotm, or is the Yotm coming down to B?
Yoda's not going into B.
No.
Okay, so Blue Wolf is going up to A.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot more tags going into A, boys.
Definitely. N5 is good for tags, so we're going to have a lot more in A than we would expect.
That's fine.
Ivory's hating us right now.
It's all right. We can fix it at the end, Ivory.
Ivory can be so. I love making Ivory unhappy.
The Chernabog.
You know what? What? I think it is B. I think it's the top of B. I don't think it's quite good enough to be an A.
Okay.
B for baseline, A for awesome.
So we can bring the Yotm down to B as well then.
That's correct. Yeah. No,
okay.
Leave the Yotm in.
There we go.
The universe has been balanced.
Okay. Lockie Carter is sending a firebomb to my house right now as I live and breathe.
A chemical firebomb.
Chemical firebomb.
A little is good. More must be better.
All right. Remember, guys, high B is probably like slightly above baseline.
Is it better than the Yotm? Is the question. Is it the top of B above the Yotm?
No, I don't think it's better than the Yotm.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
I don't think so.
Work with that.
It is better than the Guija though. All right, the Chernabog, Ariadne's only tag. I think it's pretty good. I think it starts at 65 points for that damage PS4 AP HMG. It does kind of get knocked down with the transmutation stuff, and it doesn't dodge or gizmo kit very, like, you're never repairing it because no Rempres and a gizmo kit's on 9.
Yeah, that's true.
That level of firepower in Ariadne, considering the rest of the faction and the tricks it has, like, we've all experienced Kirby just absolutely punch your face in with a Chernabog.
It's cheap as well, right?
65 points, I think.
70 or 63.
63?
Yeah.
Pretty cheap. The problem is that Ariadne is in a tough spot right now, where people haven't really figured out what they're doing with the faction.
Which is why I think the Chernabog kind of slightly carries it on its shoulder. Like, it's carrying a sack on one shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Cosmoflot. I feel like a Chernabog is
You've got the
probably
important part of the multi HMG.
The AP.
Mm-hmm.
And the cheap profile has the template weapon as well.
you're taking such a hit as soon as you lose 2 wounds. Like I think that alone has to rock it down. Like a tag
Well, is it in B?
I think so.
No.
I reckon
I
it
think
is.
it's still in B.
No way.
It's still a
No way.
BS14 tag in Ariadna.
No way is it in B. I think it's a C rank tag. You think about what a tag is supposed to do.
Yep.
It has 3 structure.
Mhm.
It is armor 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
A tag is useful because it can take 2 wounds and still fight as effectively as it did at 3 wounds. Right?
Yes,
As
but
soon as you lose, if you take if you take a crit and get unlucky, the critical failure state on a Chernabog is like far and above worse than the critical failure state on like almost any other tag, right? So you go from BS14 to BS13, you go from armor 8 to armor 6.
Mhm.
Like it's a big drop as soon as you take 2 wounds, and you cannot get it back. I think that I don't
think
yeah,
it's that
I
bad.
think it's
yeah, I don't think
think,
the drop is that bad.
I
Because
think
BS14 to BS13 is like for its points. If it was just BS13, that's like you could make an argument for it. It's definitely better at BS14 for the first 2 orders, for the first 2
look,
weeks.
I'm going to say
with Josh.
I'm going to say it's in C above the long wang, but I'm happy
Yes.
to defer to the majority if that is where it's if we're heading into B.
I think C above the long wang is correct as well.
All right. Maybe a gate keeps the B rank.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think I don't think it's baseline purely because it does not keep its fighting effectiveness all the way through its lifespan.
Like honestly, the last wound, I'm more worried about the BTS going down to 3 than the BS and the armor.
It is just essentially a walking invitation to brick.
Oh yeah.
It is. Maybe
You've
the
got,
fact that
you've got
Speedball's been kind of slacked a
8-point
little.
engineers infection. Like you don't like it doesn't need to be BTS.
It getting bricked isn't too bad. The fact that it can't be really repaired is a big deal.
Well, no, the part about the BTS that concerns me, right, is like you shoot it with a breaker combi, and like you really concerned.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
I mean,
there are very few
Yotm.
Yeah,
though.
there are very
Like,
few tags that
BTS
like
BTS comes in 3s, right? So I think that like
as God intended.
Yeah. BTS 6 like is the break point of like almost all tags, right? But as soon as you get to BTS 3, I think you're no more worried at BTS 3 against a breaker combi rifle than you are at BTS 6.
Yeah, because you're
3,
saving.
You save 1. You get one BTS difference between 3 and 6 on a breaker combi rifle.
Maybe breaker combi is the wrong argument there. It would have to be something
like a nanopulsar or something.
Nanopulsar, yeah. So like nanopulsar, plasma, like
Drakios's pulsar, nanopulsar.
Yeah.
The BS attack continuous
pulsar.
The continuous damage pulsar.
Yeah, total control as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, total control even at BTS 6 is,
it's dicey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely scary. At
Especially
BTS 3, like you're just kind of assuming you're rolling the dice because you like there's a chance you'll pass, but your heart's not in it anymore.
Yeah.
No, you're already making plans.
I think it's it's stuff like breaker combi was a bad example. It's stuff like nanopulses, even like plasma as well.
Yeah.
Like you're scared of plasma regardless, but the fact that you're like really scared of plasma and at that one wound is like concerning.
Yeah. All right, the Maghariba guard. Before a couple days ago, I probably would have put it above the Yotm, but baggage being a little bit less useful, probably puts it down to somewhere mid B for me. It is bad at dodging. It is S8, which is a bit of a disadvantage, but it does get ECM hacker. It kind of gets 360 visor for free now. It gets fire. It gets burst for EM carbine, which is super cool. It is one of the only WIP 14 tags. and I think it's fairly cheap for the package.
It is,
Yeah,
but you've also
think-
got to remember that S8 is still a downside, right?
It's only an extra 3 mil.
Still a downside.
That's true.
Well, vertically, but horizontally, it's
15 mil horizontally.
It's
a 70 mil base.
Yeah, but it's only 3 mil extra in height.
Not a 55 mil. Sorry, 20, 25. Yeah, no, 15. 70 mil base versus a 55. Like, it's
significantly fatter.
Large and in charge.
Yeah.
one thing to remember on it is, unlike most tags, it's religious instead of courage.
Oh, true.
Yes, that is a downside as well.
So another downside of the Serif.
That's true.
You're on an S8 base, so the chances of you having a place to guts are low anyways. So you might as well take the discount.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the huge downside to this bad boy is it's a whip 12 on the remote, on the ancillary remote. That is rough.
Especially in faction. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
but then
true.
again,
That's
like
rough.
it's kind of a freebie.
Yeah.
And
I mean, hack going. Oh, I'm rolling lower than a 14. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think extolling the virtues of its B plus its burst 4 EM carbine is probably not the way I would go about it. I think the Maghariba now is 71 points and that's it. There's only one profile in there that I would be taking, which is the
Flamethrower Mind
heavy
Dispenser.
flamethrower Mind Dispenser.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the only Maghariba, and I think that is a good tag. That is, and I would put it at probably top of B.
I mean, I'll take it. I think the combination of Whip 14, ECM Hacker makes it a little bit harder to hack than regular. And the fact that it has a template, a big template with 360 visor makes it a lot harder for warbands to get close to it if you position it correctly. Baggage kind of sucks, but you do have a lot of pitches in Huck.
Yeah.
Baggage doesn't suck that much. Obviously, you're not getting your turrets out of it, but like it's still refilling its Mind Dispenser for free.
Refilling jammers.
Yes,
you're refilling jammers.
Baggy is likely going to be further up, so you're refilling your jammers, you're refilling your disposable weapons. It's like your Panzerfausts or that type of thing. One other thing with that 71-point profile, because it has both heavy flamethrower +1 burst and heavy pistol, AP heavy pistol, it can fork at under 8 inches.
Yeah.
So
cool.
if they try to approach you with a warband and don't make it there, she can just go pull them out of their cover and kill them.
So I think what is sort of holding me back, right, is it is a 70 mil base and it is very, very tall. It's not even about like hiding it entirely. It's the fact that it is just easier than other tags to get an angle on it. Like there are not many tables in Infinity designed to easily hide a Maghariba. And then when it being religious as well, combined with the fact that it is that much tougher for it to guts into cover, you can just sort of end up with it just being caught in the wind, unfortunately. And just maneuvering around a table as well. Like, tables aren't built with a 70 mil base in mind a lot of the time.
That's true.
Like, that's sort of holding me back from putting it at, like, top of B. Top of C wouldn't bother me either. Like, bottom of B, top of C is sort of where I see it.
I think it has to be at least B.
Yeah.
Is it better than a Guija?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
Is it better than a Blue Wolf?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Debatable.
I can go in between those.
All right. Cool.
Debatable.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to kind of cross-compare Spitfire tags with HMG tags. So yeah, that's right. I'm happy.
So the fact that you just said the fact that we just said it's better, the Blue Wolf is better than it.
Sorry.
Okay.
What was that? I missed that.
No, that's it. I thought
we said it was
you
worse
like
than the
a
Blue Wolf.
No, it is. Oh, sorry. The Blue Wolf was better than the Maghariba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. To the least purchased tag in the entire game, The Shakush.
No, it's the people love kit bashing this tag into something else.
Yeah, it's prime number 2. Back in N4 it was anyway. The Shakush, which has gained...
something to say about Maggie before we do move on entirely, is that, like, it's not just looking at it in, like, a term point of view of, like, Huck, it's also looking at it in, like, Dashat, where it is very, very good. Which is what I think helps bring it up a little bit as well, up to B.
Okay, that's good.
Hack is, by reports from people, is struggling a bit in it, like, non-Assassin's Huck is struggling a bit in N5, which is something to make a point of. Dashat is doing, like, Dashat seems to be doing alright. I don't know what it's going to be like the turret changes, but it's very affordable in that faction, which is something to think about. Sorry, we can move on.
No, that's fine. That's good.
Alright. Shakush. It now has fire on its regular HMG. Unlike the Maggie, it does have courage. It is pretty cheap at 58 points for the HMG, but it doesn't have any negatives to guided. It has average stats, it has no AP, and it only moves 6'2". So I would probably put it below the Long Wang.
Oh man, that is an expensive HI. It's a tag? Oh, yeah, below Long Wang. DT tag.
It's a big HI. Unfortunately. And although HB only really had this as a HMG option...
Is being the thing that you need?
Sorry, Jordan, can you say that again?
Does being BS14 in Hack Islam kind of like make a point for it?
A little, but not that much.
Well, in vanilla, I don't think you need it. And as you say, vanilla, like, if you're in vanilla, probably just take the Maggie. In HB, I could just take a Laseek. I know I've talked about them a lot, but Laseeks are effectively better BS than that.
It's BS14, but what it competes with in both Assassins and... hang on, is it in QK? I think it's... Sorry.
Is it?
I think so.
It is in QK, yeah. It's competing with regular infantry that do a better job at gunfighting, just aren't as durable, but you can take 2 of them instead of a Shakush.
Yeah. I don't think the fire is enough to push it.
I would say the fact that it is like 14, like Ivory has said here, it's 14 points cheaper than the Long Wang, probably puts it above the Long Wang, because it has that bonus failure state for your opponent, where if they fail that first save versus the HMG, it does start creating the old cavalcade of fuck up.
Yeah.
So you can take it in vanilla, and Maggie's probably a better option and not that much more expensive. Like that's a 1-line infantry difference in cost. In QK, it's competing with the Azrael, who do a better job than it does, because it's an AP HMG with continuous damage. It's just at the same damage, because BS attack SR -1, and it's just BS 13 instead of 14.
And the Azrael is 17 points cheaper. Than that profile. Then if you look at the AP Spitfire, you're then looking at the Asawira, which is 20 points cheaper.
Yeah.
And is on a fucked good body. So I think that Shakush is, in terms of a tag,
I keep seeing it go lower, but mostly because not so much that it's bad by itself, but the competition it has against non-tag models in faction is not in its favor. So maybe above the Long Wang, but I'm not quite sure.
I think on its own merits, right, it probably goes above the Long Wang, because it's just less of an investment than the Long Wang is, right?
Fair.
Like 14,
and it probably outshoots the Long Wang.
Is a fair chunk.
It doesn't outshoot the Long Wang.
Probably.
Does it?
No, BS attack -3 matters because
right, forgot about that.
Yeah,
That is
just
a
has
good skill.
just has that skill.
That's all right though.
Mhm.
The Long Wang is a full ass proper tag,
Wait,
whereas the
no,
Shakush is
it's-
getting guided.
True.
It isn't really. Guided doesn't have AP anymore, so
I know. I'm just joking. The fact that it's probably, I think it's one of 2 tags in the game that don't have ECM guided.
what's the other one?
I think one of the NA2 tags.
It is like the cut down
Oh.
tag profile.
Oh, the trip hammer does it.
Yeah.
There you go.
It is resetting on a 14 against that missile. Oh, I guess 11 because of Spotlight.
Yep. I think people are just
Yes.
stealing it anyway.
Mhm,
All
yeah.
right. The Salamandra.
Ooh.
Best looking tag in the game. But
Arguable.
Very good.
very
looking tag.
arguable. But where does it go? It is a
Well,
HRMC.
it only produces order now.
This is true. It did swap Tackaware for NCO, but it is a HRMC. It is BTS 9. It is fairly boring and standard, but for that, it is fairly cheap for what you get.
And still gets a heavy flamethrower.
And still gets a template.
Mhm.
Yep, 68 points is pretty good bargain.
For what you get, yeah. I somewhere in the A.
Somewhere in A.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in A. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I can take low B or high B.
Yeah. My issue with it is, and I think that Ivory is making this point as well in the chat. It's an NCO, right? There are, I'm going to say no, Lieutenant +1 orders in
Nomads.
In Nomads.
Would you like me to fact check?
You can if you like.
While
I guess you are
while you
using.
go, while you continue talking.
I think you are. I guess you are using the NCO because more often than not with Nomads, you're taking 2 moderators as your like LT plus decoy.
Yeah, I think 90% of the time it's just going to be an interventor, so it might be fighting for that order.
It depends if we're running Tunguska or
Vanilla.
Yes, it could be an interventor.
It does.
But interventors generally stay linked, don't they?
Depending, like you might want to.
It gives you some options. It gives you an option to use it or not, I guess. Look, there's not.
It is also 2 Swick in a traditionally hungry faction.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have
a lot of your
Renpress.
list.
And the factions have generally very expensive engineers, but good engineers.
Mm-hmm.
And Ivory's making a good point that rounders do compete for the NCO slot as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually I would like top of B.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
Personally.
it's better than the Yotm.
Absolutely. I'm trading 2 armor for HMRC every day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%.
And a point of BS. And be 20 points cheaper.
Yeah, and a point of BS.
Okie dokie. Now, for something that is absolute garbage, the Iguana.
Oh,
is it the first D tier tag?
Don't be mean.
Yeah, high end of D tier.
Is it?
But D tier.
High end of trash. Yeah, 2 wounds on your tag body is just not good enough.
Faction.
It's like it.
What faction
it's in Corregidor.
Is it Corregidor?
It's in Corregidor and it's in an NA2. I forget which one.
And it's in QK.
Bonus points
QK.
for getting bonus points knocked off for being in Corregidor.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corregidor players.
Than it was in N4.
That's not saying much because nearly every tag's better.
Well, I still think it's down there, but the fact that the pilot, well, first of all, escape system is better since it's now zero vis, and it keeps the AP heavy machine gun, and it picks up an AP pistol +1 burst, and the heavy flamethrower +1 burst becomes a light flamethrower +1 burst. So you're not like losing the armament you paid for. It's just going on a worse chassis that doesn't shoot as well.
But every other tag got a little remote. There's now a specialist, right? So,
oh yes, and this one isn't even a specialist when it pops out.
No, the Iguana is not that. It's also what 5 points cheaper than a Sally, and it's an armor 6 S7 tag. Like I just,
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the argument that it's
D. You've already put it in, Tristan. Yeah, okay, sure. Top of D. Is it better than the Long Wang? Is it worse than the Long Wang?
It's definitely worse than the Long Wang.
Oh.
Every single faction is a better
Long
tag.
Wang's an S tag with higher armor.
Yeah, sure.
And 3 wounds of that 7 armor as well.
Yeah, 3 wounds of that 7 armor too.
Alright, this next one might actually be pretty controversial. I was going to say, it might be pretty controversial, because I feel like a lot of the global meta hasn't recognized the greatness that is the Stigmaton.
I'm going to go S.
Ooh,
so,
okay.
Because of how well it syncs in with its lists.
The lizard syncs better.
And it's so...
Nah.
For Bakuden.
Yeah.
I think it fits very smoothly into Bakuden, and can be supported nicely.
As does the lizard.
As does the lizard.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I would put it high A. I don't think it's S.
Why is that?
I can't.
Explain your working out, please.
It might sound really boring, but it's a lackluster gun. It's BS-13, and it's on the lower end of armor for a tag.
It's also a religious troop. It slots in so well with it's so good in faction. I think it's in A, and I think it's better than the tip.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. It's like, because I was making a good point about it. It makes your hacking dominance not kind of a lost cause, because it is just straight up the most resilient hacker in Bakuden. Because it is
nearly the game.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much that stacks ECM hacker and firewall.
And a firewall, yeah. But I think the fact that it isn't defending itself as well with its gun, and is the BS-13 and that only burst 3 as well, makes me a little more hesitant to push it all the way to the top.
You can't depend on it to do every single job, I don't think.
No, and it does jobs that most tags don't.
Yep.
So I feel like its gun is either secondary or tertiary to its other roles.
Yep.
It's one of the most survivable hackers in the game in a faction that can support it well. It is an incredibly fast specialist for being in that faction. And it's still got +1 burst heavy flamethrower.
And it's linkable, and it's got Rempres, and it has template defense, and it's S6. Yeah. So I think I'd agree. Probably better than the tick. There's not many Bakuden lists I've seen that really don't take a Stig if they want to take a Stig.
Yeah, and they don't feel like they're making room for a tag when you see the lists that have the Stig in it.
No, it's like making room for an Asura, or making room for a Bokta, or making room for like Norkius. They're all very close in points.
I could just try to be like, oh yeah, your premium units, an Asura, a Bokta, Trinorkius. Fucking hell, Tristan.
At least I didn't say the anathematic, because that would have been wrong. Alright, I think the next one's probably one of the most confused tags in Nomads, and I have no idea where to put it. It's the Gator. I think it's just a really good tag that's kind of held back by its faction quite a bit.
You mean Vanilla Nomads and Corregidor?
Yes.
Is it just because the Zali is cheaper?
Well, in Corregidor, I think if you're taking a tag, you're taking this one.
Yes.
In Nomads, like, the Gator has ECM Hacker, it has a Mind Dispenser, it has NCO, it has a good dodge, and it has decent CCE skills. But those things are kind of not as important when you're in a faction that's super hacking dominant, and there's already NCO in the faction, and you're trading that for one less dice and a worse gun, and it costs it costs a little bit more.
It costs a little bit more, but it's also half a Swift cheaper than Sally. So it might be a case of you write for a Sally, and then you find you need that half Swick and go to a Gator instead.
Maybe.
But then you got to find the points is the thing. Like, 'cause 6 points is a solid chunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends on which one you've run out of first.
Yeah. I think it's like, is it better than the Guija? Yes or no?
I think on paper it is, but I can't tell because I think Corregidor just sucks at the moment.
And what, in Vanilla Nomads, you're trying to save points, so you're taking a Zali, or you're taking, or like I've been saying, you're taking like heavy infantry and like one wound elite.
I don't know how to build Vanilla Nomads anymore. Like, I don't know what the build for Vanilla... I don't even know what the direction for Vanilla Nomads is at the moment.
Well, I think the other thing as well is, like, Vanilla Nomads has a Go pod.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really don't know. Like, I don't think the ECM Hacker is particularly that good. I don't think the CC skill bloat is particularly good. The Mind Dispenser and Chain Rifles are great. The NCO is probably not necessary. So it is just...
It's paying way too much for skills it's never going to use.
They like dodge plus 2 inches.
Yeah,
if you compare it to Sally, like, sure, it's got ECM Hacker -3, but it loses 3 BTS for that.
Yeah. Okay, so is it better than the Guija? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is it better than the Maghariba Guard? Yes or no?
No.
No, actually, yeah, I think you're right. The Maggie is kind of just a better Gator.
All right, we got there.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Good work, everyone.
Logical thinking.
The Maggie fits on her base, whereas the Gator does not.
That's true.
It's such an awkward pose as well.
It is. I've seen some good
on her base. Yeah, if we're playing the Drip Wars, like, Maggie is at the top.
Oh yeah,
Maggie's very
Gator is at the bottom.
All right, it's time. Boom.
Maggie's at the top with the old lizard. That's what.
Old Sally.
I'm enjoying how unhappy Ivory is getting.
We said this was definitive.
They're paying $3 a month for this. It's great. I'm pretty sure we're going to give him a stroke by the end of this episode.
Yeah. Time for the in-law first tag ever. It is the Gecko.
The Gecko?
The currently strongest gun in the game.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, the highest damage gun in the game, I'll say.
PS3.
Templates, really strong. Disposable weapons, really strong. Very easily linkable, but it is a low arm, it's low AP. BS13, it's low armor, and like the Shakush, it's just a bigger, slower HI.
Yes. Yes, it's only armor 6, but it is an S6. And so I don't think that's horrible on an S6. That's kind of more average.
Yep. I think it's really funny that you can shoot PS5 Blitzen at people.
Its niche was that it was the Harry Sybil tag, right?
Yes.
That was kind of its niche. Now every duable tag gets there's loads of tags out there that are pure duable that can just grab the it's cheap enough, I guess, but there's cheap tags out there. Is this tag better than a Shakush?
So I will say it is. You can link it with a Dactari and Lupe Balboa, and they both have the same keyword. So for something around 38 points, you can give it 2-man Purity to get like that burst 2 Blitzen or that burst 4 damage 17 Mark 12, or sorry, PS3.
So it already has BS attack +1 burst.
Sorry.
So that's a burst 2 Blitzen with a special die.
And a burst 4 +1 PS3 Mark 12.
Yeah.
Or a burst 4 +1 PS5 multi-marksman rifle.
I think it's better than the Shakush and probably sits behind the Chernabog.
Okay.
I think it falls into the category where it's a little bit tougher to rate because it is in that S6 heavy infantry category.
Yeah.
So it's not doing the normal job of a tag.
Yeah.
But it's also not paying what you would normally pay for a tag.
No.
It's tag in name, not necessarily tag in nature.
Yeah. But it is directly comparable to the Shakush, and it is
and
probably
I think it's
worse.
better.
Yeah. Sorry, the Shakush is definitely worse. The Shakush is definitely
the
worse.
Shakush is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Is it though?
Yes. I reckon it being linkable, it having higher damage, the difference only being one ballistic skill is kind of negligible to me personally.
BS 13 on a tag is much more viable than it was with Fire Team before.
True. That Panzerfaust hits real fucking hard.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah.
PS4 AP explosive.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Neat.
Good ARO.
And that's 2 shots and a reroll. Gross.
Yeah.
True.
Cool.
Very good ARO.
This might be the one that takes the most time because we're all going to be arguing. The Lizard. I think it's the best tag in the game.
You are wrong.
It's not the best tag in the game. It's an exceptional tag. It's not the best
better
tag
than the Cutter.
game.
I think it's better than the Cutter.
You're wrong. Why? Why do you think it's better?
All right. So it has a lot of the benefits that the Stig does. Has the ECM hacker. It has the repeater. So it's the mobile white noise machine. I think in terms of, like, you can say it has 1 less BS and no Rempres versus the Squalo. But over the Squalo, it does get the AP and the grenade launchers in the same profile. And it's nearly the same cost. I think it's either the same cost.
It gives up a template.
Yeah, it's linked with something with a template. That's fine.
What are you linking here with that has a template?
I don't know.
Show your fucking workings, Tristan.
Stigmaton.
Yeah. For 65 points, I think it's exceptional. I think it gives everything that you want, and I think it's cheap enough that you don't give a fuck if it dies. So I'm not necessarily concerned that if it has red prez or not or whatever like that.
It reminds me of the Iguana, but done correctly.
What the Iguana wishes it was.
Yeah.
Is it cheaper than the Iguana? It might be. The Iguana is 63. For 2 points more, you get a lizard.
Yeah, because they're both repeater tags.
Yep.
In factions that enjoy their hacking.
All right.
I think that it is not an S tier tag.
I don't think so either.
The reason I say I think it's not an S tier tag is because I don't think it's better than the Stig.
Correct. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Ivory does make a half decent point. We're like ECM on the Lizard, it's like mimetism on the Custodia. If you don't care about it dying, you don't really care about it getting hacked because you can just fix it.
Yeah,
like the ECM hacker on the Stig matters because the Stig is getting into hacking fights.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
It's nice.
It's nice for sure.
Yeah.
Again, the point you're arguing is just it's super cheap and easy to put in list.
Yeah,
but it's also super good.
Well, it hits all.
It is also cheaper and easier to fit in the list.
It hits all the main battle tag points, like BS 14, Armor 8, Multi HMG, and it's in the low to mid 60s.
I think it is definitely A.
Mm-hmm.
How about we do this again? Is it better than the Serif? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it better than the Squalos? Yes or no?
No.
I think the repeater makes it better.
No.
I don't think so either, because if you got the repeater elsewhere with the Stig, because you got the Orphan Engineer that is a repeater as well.
I think the Swallow is better than the Lizard, purely because it's BS15 and has Rempres. Like, they're the exact same tag. You're getting real hung up on the fact that it has a repeater. I think you're getting hung up on the fact that it has a repeater when you have another tag that comes with a repeater engineer that it drags around, which is just a better combination.
It's a different combination. That combination doesn't have a multi-HMG.
No, it doesn't.
So
I don't think it's better than the Squalos either.
That's okay. I'm allowed to be overruled.
Well, someone had to
had
to be here to talk some sense.
Yeah, I can see the argument that the repeater is nice, but it's in a faction that can put repeaters everywhere they want.
Yeah.
And already has them on troops like the Orphan.
Yeah.
So
like Tristan, in Bakunin you have linked pitches, you have a tag that drags around a specialist with a repeater, you have zeros who have deployable repeaters who deploy on the 24-inch line. Like, if you want to put a repeater somewhere, you can put a repeater wherever the fuck you want.
It does give it an additional layer of hacking protection. Because unless you're dealing with pitchers, if you've got a repeater on a remote, if you walk that next to the Lizard, then you can hack the remote. If a hacker is trying to come up near the Lizard, you hack it back. But I don't know if the amount of pitchers on the table is enough that it invalidates part of that.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
You cheeky bastard.
Tristan,
Hopefully I wouldn't notice.
Tristan, I will firebomb your house.
Okay. The Bull Tracky.
I think the result we're going to say is not going to be in agreement with certain communities.
I think it's a worse Raicho.
I think it's a good B because it's got some conflicting abilities.
I don't really think it's a tag, to be honest.
It's a weird one.
Like, it's got super
5.
jump for mobility, but it wants to fight at long range because of the HMC or HRMC. It wants to be at long range, and it has +1 burst in close combat.
It is Arm 5 with immunity arm, though. That is...
Oh, no, I think that Arm 5 with immunity armor is most cases worse than Armor 8.
Yes.
Because think of it like an Armor 8 tag that's vulnerable to small arms.
Well, it's an Armor 8 tag that's not in cover. Would you gunfight with an Armor 8 tag that had limited cover? No.
Yeah. Like, it does better against anti-tag weapons, but suffers against rifles.
It's also whip 12.
It's whip 12 with Warhorse.
Yeah, but you can total control it.
Yes, but total control doesn't affect the... I guess you're resetting off with a whip, and then BTS is 6. Like, it's not the strongest tag to resist total control.
Cyber's made a pretty good point. It saves versus a vanilla HMG on a 13.
It's not great. I don't think it's...
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan. I think...
Yeah.
It's the tag that the tick blade wants to hunt.
I think NCO is actually, like, it's a better keyword in Morats now that you're not, like, locked into taking Cornac almost every game.
Yes.
Yeah. It's 69 points, by the way.
It is 69.
Those white dog shit rumors are going up, Jordan.
It's
Josh?
I said those white dog shit where your brain should be rivers going up, mate.
I know, right?
It's also competing with the Sugrets now.
Yeah, it is.
And I think they fight better than the Voltrak.
I like Sugrats a lot. Honestly,
the question is, how much does a HRMC push it to? Like, how much does a HRMC actually push it?
So BS13 HRMC is 5% better than a BS14 HMG.
Is it? Did you just pull that out your bum?
No, Ivory did the math when I was arguing with Americans last year.
Right, okay. That's weird. I thought an extra dice would be way more, but I guess it's because it's 4 versus 5.
Right, Ivory? Ivory, am I far off on this one? I thought it was about 5%.
No, the extra dice is worth more, but the lower BS is worth the one higher BS is worth a lot as well. So
yeah, I'm sure they'll correct me. I'm sure they'll correct me if I've
even out a little bit.
I was saying high C, low B.
Yeah, I like C.
Yeah, I go high C.
Is it better than a Chernabog?
Yep.
You reckon?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's got a better toolbox than a Chernabog. It can reposition better to take use of that HRMC.
Warhorse is pretty important as well, I suppose.
Yes, yeah. Warhorse on a tag. Yeah, that's pretty hard to argue against.
Let's take a 2-minute break. I need to go to the toilet. Alrighty, we're back with the weirdest tag in the game. It's the Cascuda.
It is very weird.
Alright, Nick.
So I'm gonna go 70% A, 30% D.
So is that a low B?
That's
that's
the combat jump roll.
It's the quantum Cascuda. It's both A and D at the same time.
I mean, do you mean
I need to copy it and put it in both.
You mean Schrodinger's Cascuda?
Yes. Its viability is resolved once you roll its combat jump.
And also, it doesn't get super jump.
It does not. I think it's the only model in the game with combat jump and not super jump, which means
so good if it had super jump though.
If it had super jump, I think that would solve part of the combat jump issue because then it could get back into the fight more quickly.
Not really.
It would be moving 8-4 with the ability to avoid most obstacles.
Yeah, I just wish the multi-rifle is just a very hard sell because you need to be so close. Like, you need to be so close to be like actually hitting things and doing damage.
Yeah,
you're like so close to like their hacking network as well. Like I remember the first time Nick dropped it on me on a table, and it immediately got hit by like 4 flash pulses and a glue gun as well.
I think if it's S6, it probably actually would be A tier.
Yeah, the Jordan's got a good point where it's BTS 6 with no ECM hacking, and it wants to go into your opponent's deployment zone.
And it's whip 12.
Yeah.
And the whip 12 doesn't help.
Yep. Does it get a little friend?
It does get a little friend.
It does, yeah.
That helps it. What do you think?
I think ECM hacker is not that, is a bit overrated mostly, but in the Cascuda, because it wants to be inside of where the base hacking nets of players go, it is missed more.
Yeah, sure. I think he just goes in C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Where?
Is it better? Okay, again, is it better than the Long Wang?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I trust Nick because he has a soothing voice and is a teacher.
Okay, Nick, let's go.
Yeah,
and has actually played this model.
I think between the Shakush and the Gecko.
Okay, I like that.
Cool, boom, easy. Hey, look, it's Nick's second favorite tag, the Xenotron.
Hey Nick, why didn't these get immunity?
I haven't run Xenotrons yet.
But you like
Nick,
them.
Nick, why didn't these get immunity arm?
My issue is that they lost bioimmunity and did not get anything in return and stayed the same points.
Yep. They might actually be D tier.
So Xenotrons are... It's a weird place because it kind of fills the same role as the Gecko. Except for they're more maneuverable and slightly cheaper, but they only get +1. They only have 1 extra damage.
Yes. But a K1 marksman rifle is better
K1
than
marksman
a Mark
rifle, it's the highest damage K1 weapon in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And a K1 where you can shoot someone in cover and it's not in their favor to save.
Do they just go above the Gecko?
I think they go above the Gecko.
They're cheaper than Geckos.
They are cheaper than Geckos, more maneuverable. They have Remprez, which do the Geckos have Remprez?
No,
they don't, because they're nomad tags.
Yeah.
The only one that has that is Stig. Can't wait to be told I'm wrong about that one.
I think they go above the Geckos.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool. All right. The big boy, the Raicho.
It's the Raicho.
I think the Raicho is actually pretty good.
Yep.
I had it high B.
I think it's good. It's held back a little bit by only being in Morax now.
Yeah.
Because its place in N4 was vanilla.
Yes.
And
it's
it's
expensive.
competing a lot in Morax. It's in the 80-ish points. The NCO is cheaper at 74, but it goes up to 2 Swick, and that's a hard sell in Morax.
Yeah, in Morax it's a hard sell. Being in Morax hurts it a lot.
The NCO is the only profile I'd really rate taking anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. A +1 burst heavy shotgun and mine dispensers.
Yep.
Pretty good. Especially in a faction that can take a bunch of cheap stuff that's actually good. Like the Osnat Harris and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think either the mine dispenser or the NCO are probably the two I would go with.
As a model in Morax, it's kind of overshadowed, but as a tag, I think it's pretty good.
Yes.
I think you would just put it above the bull track in C, right?
I don't know. I think it's like better than a Gator.
No, I would put it into B tier.
Okay.
Like,
it is a baseline tag. It's a baseline tag.
It's better than the Guija.
Yep, better than the Guija. That's fine by me.
Is it better than the Maggie?
I'm going to say between the Gator and the Maggie.
Yeah, that's where I'd put it.
I think
because we've grouped all the mine dispenser tags in one place.
It'd be less confused profile than the Gator.
Yes, yeah. The profiles all have a goal. The heavy rocket launcher is probably the most confused, and it's not all that confused.
Yeah, I think that profile needs to be deleted.
I still maintain me.
Everything else that has a heavy machine gun and a heavy rocket launcher, I think, has a heavy rocket launcher +1 burst. Oh no, the Maggie doesn't. Does it? I don't remember.
No, immune crit and Warhorse sometimes just kind of make it a bit of a pain to deal with.
Yeah, it's such a pain to deal with.
Yeah, but look, being crit immune, you do just sort of shrug off like 4 or 5 saves a game, basically.
No, the Maggie's the same. It doesn't have a heavy rocket +1 burst, but it does have a grenade launcher on that profile and is 7 points cheaper than the Raicho. So.
Yeah, crit immune just it makes it so much more reliable.
Yes.
Yep. Especially against things like flash pulses and glue guns. That's massive. All right, we're happy with that. Cool. All right. Overdrons. Big glow up.
I'm going to argue S tier on this one.
I think
what?
Ooh. Nick,
because of their cost.
Remember when I asked you how many times the Xenotron has shot at an MSV ARO piece, and you said none?
So first of all, Overdron. Yes, I stopped running it because I was never encountering MSV pieces. However, I think even without the albedo, like it's a really solid tag because of its cost and getting the HRMC.
I don't know.
It also it's what normally it's one of the few tags that has a firewall instead of ECM hacker.
That is really good.
It's a tin bot, so it can extend that to anyone who decides to do it with it.
It's BS13.
Yeah, I think it's better than the Lizard.
You fucker.
I know Ivory got back to me on the math. It is 4% better in active than the Lizard is.
Yeah, HRMCs are deceivingly good.
Yes.
But it is 6-2. It is, like, you say cheap, it's still 62 points.
Yeah.
Compared to anything else with an HRMC?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Like
the bull track.
In C.
Is 69?
It's 3 points cheaper than the Lizard.
I think I'm only arguing that it's not S tier. I don't think it's S tier.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's better than the Lizard.
It could even be better than a Squalo, but maybe.
Yeah, I could make the argument. Like, they don't serve quite the same purpose, but
I think my issue is the thing it's designed to hunt isn't a huge thing right now. Like, I'm
also the thing that it's designed to hunt doesn't kind of doesn't screw over the faction that it's in. Like, if it was like was it like Steel Phalanx or something, I'd be like, oh, this is fucking incredible.
It was in the Coonan instead of the Lizard. If you swapped, right, if you gave Combined Arm with the Lizard and you gave the Coonan...
Oh, they'd be the S tier. They'd both be S tier.
Fuck me.
Overdron's in vanilla.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But the way vanilla has gone, it's almost like your BS13 HRMC is like your peak gunfighter in vanilla combined. And that's like average. As like a peak gunfighter.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know
if it's A.
I think it's better than the Lizard, and that's sort of where I sit.
Okay.
Okay. Are you happy with that, Nick?
Yeah, I can do that. Shot high, argued you guys down. Yeah.
All right. Now it's time for my second hard argument. The Avatar.
Oh, okay. I'm so low on the Avatar.
Hot garbage. It is like worse than the fucking Gecko. Like bottom of C. It has had its orders chopped in half. It doesn't have Rempres anymore, even if I think it did in Info.
No, it did. It did not have it. It didn't have Rempres.
It did have it, but it was allegedly a mistake.
Yeah, but it's lost half its orders. It is still 120 points.
It lost half its orders for a 6-point discount.
Yeah, I think that's the big knock against it. Is for almost half your army, it's only providing 2 orders now.
Yeah,
and that combined with the fact that the low end of combined army has dropped off significantly, which propped the Avatar up.
Vanilla Combined has some really good low end, but it runs out very fast.
Yeah, especially when you were using Tigers to protect it, and now Tigers are coin flips.
Oh, I just mean for order generation. So
yeah,
Flashbots, Icadrons, Igmatrons. That doesn't necessarily stack up to enough orders.
Yep.
To make up for spending 120 points on 2 orders.
Yeah, in N4 it was really hard to clip the Avatar of orders because it generated 4 for itself. Since it's 2 now, it's
Is it D tier? Like,
No.
I don't think a BS15 Mim6 tag is ever going to be D
Sure.
tier, but
Mnemonica
I
as well.
think either high C or low B.
I don't think it gets to be any. The cost is just so prohibitive.
I honestly think it's worse than a Chernabog.
Okay.
Really?
I think so.
If we're because we're looking at how well it runs in its faction.
I mean, would you rather have two Chernobyls or one Avatar?
Well, and combined, it's like, do you want Norkis and an Overdron, or do you want an Avatar?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
It's more like, do you want a Caronted and a fucking Anathematic or an Avatar?
Yeah.
Well, ideally, I would want an Avatar and an Overdron, but
ideally,
I can't have all my toys in one army.
I think it's kind of somewhere in here.
Wow.
What are you thinking,
actually,
Josh?
Ivory makes another good point. When you compare it to the other aspects, the other aspects have gotten better and provide either only one order less for half the points, or the same number of orders for roughly half the points. And half of those have a marker state, so that you can't just shoot it if you have MSV.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel, I don't know. I feel pretty comfortable with it, like somewhere in C, right?
Yep.
Like putting it in D just doesn't, because it's MIM6, it's BS15. Like it'll just put some games on its back just by virtue of doing that.
Well,
yeah,
it's like gear check. It's like really good gear check, right? It's like Arm 9, BTS 9, immune possession, mnemonic.
But it is vulnerable to like the things you have to put in your list to like fit an avatar and enough orders. Your opponent can just sort of play the game of what happens if I just strip the avatar of most of its orders. It used because you used to be able to do that, but it had 4 orders still. Now it has 2.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, 120 points and bringing.
It's a gear check, but it's a gear check you can just avoid if you try.
Well, okay. I'd put it somewhere in C because if I see a player with an avatar list, my thought is going to be, ooh, I wonder how they're running it. Whereas, like, in Iguana, if I see a player running an Iguana, I'm like, why? Like, I mean, there's the curiosity of, did you find something? Did you find the magic box to fit the avatar or the Iguana into? But I think the avatar is still in the C tier because I would not be surprised to see it on the table.
Yeah, 90% of the time you see an Iguana, it's being proxied as a Salamandra.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful model.
All right, executive decision. Mim6 probably puts it somewhere like there.
Okay.
What are you thinking, Josh? Argue.
I think it's better than a Cherno. Better than a bull track.
I don't. Again, right? The fact that you can just kill everything around the avatar, and it cannot support itself with enough orders anymore.
Okay, so put it this way: is it better or worse than the Cascuda?
Oh, I think it's better than a Cascuda.
Okay, I think it's better than a Cascuda.
Is it better or worse than the heavy infantry tags?
Better.
It's yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I think
I can't come up with a coherent argument enough to put it any higher, so we're going to go with that.
Okay.
All right.
Josh,
it's a PS15.
You have bullied me enough.
Hey guys.
No, I just like I don't have enough experience with it. Like every time I've played against a fucking avatar, I've gotten bodied by it. So like it's
so
not
I played against an avatar last week in Werribee, and I executed exactly the plan I just talked about, where I just killed everything around the avatar, and it was like you have 2 orders a turn to do stuff with it. What do you want to do with it?
Yeah, fair enough. No, I get it. Yeah, that's fair enough.
All right, it's time for the worst tag in the game, and it's the Sphinx.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, no! It is not the worst tag of the game.
Second worst tag in the game.
No,
Preston does not represent the views of all of the lost.
There are at least 2 tags that are worse than it.
Third worst tag in the game.
Okay, I can hear an argument for this.
Look, It's, 93 points. It doesn't have AP. Cool, it's got flamethrowers and it can climb and shit. But it's in Shazvasti and Vanilla. You're not taking Vanilla. Fuck Vanilla. Shazvasti already has an AP problem, and taking 93
Onyx
points.
as well.
Onyx, you're not taking an Onyx either.
Yeah, and it's in Vanilla, but again, you're not taking it.
You're not taking the Vanilla. Like, realistically, you're taking it in Shaz because it is the tag of Shaz, and Shaz has a AP problem, and you're not helping that by taking a Sphinx. Especially now that Shaz is low end, with not having your second group 4 Tigers and an Imatron, a Nicodron, doesn't exist anymore, really. Like, you need more of that mid-range stuff. Like, your top end is probably going to be Sheshkin.
Yeah.
It's an interesting package, but yeah, the +1 damage on a Spitfire.
It's a victim of circumstance, really.
Like, it's better than it was a week ago.
It is.
Because climbing plus works again.
Yes.
But
why doesn't it have stealth? It seems like the most quintessential tag that should have stealth, and it just doesn't.
It should have stealth.
Probably
because it has those high heels.
Oh, no, it's probably also because it was written before tags with stealth were a thing.
That's true.
Um,
It's so expensive, right? And you're not getting it, like, it's so expensive, and you then need to find another source of AP in the list. Because it's the same damage as a HMG.
But it's also, it's not just demanding, it's not just like a gun. It's not like a group 2 tag that you can put 6 orders into. It demands a whole group's worth of orders to do something. Because on average, it takes 4 orders to kill a HI that's in a link team. It's just not good enough.
It's really good at winning gunfights, but it's not good at putting what they shot down.
And, like, I've heard people talk about, like, AROing with, like, an NCO cutter, right? Like, I can understand, like, the logic there of that coming out of hidden deployment. Like, you can't really ARO with the Sphinx, because it's like, aha, I pop out of hidden deployment and shoot you with a Spitfire.
It's like, I drop a flamethrower and I dodge into CC. Haha.
Yeah.
Oh. It feels like it's overcosted and wants just like a Panzerfaust or like something to make that Spitfire just a little bit better. Like,
if you gave it
like AP would probably be too much.
Burst. BS attack +1 burst instead of the burst 1 heavy flamethrower. I reckon that'll be alright.
Yeah, it needs somewhere between +1 damage and AP. Because I think
how about a DA?
DA?
DA Spitfire.
That's disgusting.
No.
That's stronger than AP.
That's like, what's the difference between a DA multi-sniper and AP multi-sniper? We only use AP against armor 8 tags in cover, so a DA Spitfire is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. Because, like, I don't understand why there are people who are so high on this tag. I think it must just be because of, like, good games with it in the past, where it's, like, lived the dream of, like, moving along buildings and, like, forking people with, like, flamethrowers and Spitfires and stuff.
Well, in the right situation, it will run a deployment zone and just clear it.
It needs to be like 20 points cheaper.
Yeah. Because if it can avoid, I guess, let's go back to the Avatar example. This is the type of thing you want to send in to clear everything that isn't the Avatar. Like, this wants to go in and clear cheerleaders.
Yeah.
But you're paying a third of your army for that, and it can't fight against main guns.
It also has to get all the way to a DZ as well, which it does fine with 6/6. But, like,
6/6.
it has to get all the way there, kill X number of things, and then get back, or put itself under a camo marker, and put itself under a camo marker. Because you're going to leave it, are you just going to leave the Sphinx in your opponent's DZ?
I think the goal is that there's nothing left to hurt it.
It got the buff, the tactical awareness buff as well.
Yes.
Where it comes out of HD with its tack aware order.
Yeah, so it's got that. It's not losing that order anymore. So it's a bit higher than it was last edition. It's a bit higher than it was a week ago because its climbing plus is better. Is it better than a Chernabog? I don't think so.
I don't think it's C tier.
What?
C tier.
No, it's no.
Okay.
Mim 6 is enough of a gear check to where it should be
Mim
C tier.
6 with a marker state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's safe.
Yeah.
From alpha striking.
But it's safe, but the rest of your list isn't safe.
No, true.
Ivory makes a good point. Is it just behind the heavy infantry tags?
Yeah, it almost feels like it wants to fight like heavy infantry. I think that's a good comparison.
Is it
what, like above the
worse than the Shakush?
No, behind the HI tag, so the Xenotrons and the Gecko.
Yeah, Shakush is an HI tag.
So like between Cascuda and Gecko?
Yeah, I could see it living there quite happily.
Yeah, because it's more reliable than the Cascuda.
Yeah.
Please direct all complaints to Ivory, as they're the ones who suggested this placing. You know who you are, Sphinx fans.
Yes. IGL members who say the Sphinx is a top 5 tag. I'm sorry, you're wrong. I'm just sorry. Yes, non-anecdotal evidence, please.
You want
to? Show me a list that I could run with a Sphinx in it and win a tournament with it.
At Zephyr on Discord, they are in the IGL. Ivory, what is your Discord profile picture again? Am I a bad person? Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, it's some weird Morat looking fucking logo. I don't know. Ivory will have these fights. Tristan will also have these fights. He's Paragon.
Yep.
On the IGL
At
server.
Paragon
I'm there
on
as
any
well.
Infinity Discord you care to discuss, head over to Lots of Lieutenant Discord. I will
get in the comments.
I will
get in the comments.
Get in the comments. I'll spend hours fighting you. Literal hours.
I don't have the time. I will not spend hours.
Yeah, I will not either.
All right.
I don't have enough of a horse in this race.
This next one might also be a little bit controversial. We have the Marut.
Look, it's better than the Avatar and the Sphinx.
It is. I would actually put it in A.
Yep.
Oh shit, that wasn't as controversial as I thought it would be.
Oh, well, there's a lot of A to work with.
It beats every other A. It beats every other A rank tag except for the Overdron.
Which is in the middle? What do you mean? So it's better than the Overdron, but it's better. Oh,
no, it's worse. Well, it's not worse than the Overdron. Just in shooting each other, I guess.
Right.
I think it probably sits at like the bottom of A, probably because it struggles in the factions it's in, right? Like OSS can't enable it to smoke shoot, and Vanilla is in a really awkward spot right now where people I don't think have quite figured out what they're doing with Vanilla Aleph yet.
Yes, it's carrying Vanilla Aleph on its back because it's probably the most practical LT the faction has, but it's also Strategos 2, BTS 9, Rempres, and Whip 15, and it has a template. So it is really good. It's just really predictable.
I think just bottom of A tier is really comfy for it, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like that.
I don't know if anyone really wants to fight me there, but I'm happy to.
That's fine.
No, it's hard to drop it below A tier.
All right,
you can't drop it below A tier. It's got to be A tier.
You denied my lizard, and I am going to appeal to Josh now. Agamemnon, S tier.
It's one of the most lethal tags in the game.
I think it is. I don't think it's quite S tier. He's very good. Agamemnon's very, very good.
Like I think he's at least top of A.
Tristan, why do you think he is S tier? Make your case.
Because you denied me the lizard, and something has to go in S tier.
I'd like you to make an actual case for this.
What is he? He's also 65 points, isn't he?
Okay. I will
65 or 65.
I've played a lot of Agamemnon.
Okay, here we go, Josh.
BS-14 continuous AP heavy machine gun, huge. It has relevant defensive on its CC attack.
Sorry, look at the chat.
Tristan, can you put that on the screen? Are you able to show that on the screen?
I will edit it in on top.
You'll edit it in?
I'll edit it on top.
Okay,
Holy
great,
shit,
fantastic. Well done. So BS-14 AP heavy machine gun, good, just enough CC stats and a template that it is like you don't want to fight it in CC necessarily.
It makes you pause before you walk up and punch.
Yeah, you go. Wait, hang on. It's what? Because
and
it's
Rempres too.
CC 20, CC attack -3, natural born warrior, remote presence. Basically, the only thing.
Most CC against it a coin flip at best.
Yeah, most. I think the only there's a couple of things dragging it down. One, it's a religious troop, not courageous.
It's an expensive troop in Steel Phalanx, which is an expensive faction.
It's actually reasonable. It's reasonable.
It's pretty reasonable for what you get.
Yeah. Okay. I think if you could put it on par with Hector, and you're taking it every time over Hector,
yeah, true,
almost always. I mean, I've written lots of lists that have a lot of stuff in it with like 15 troopers. You got K2 Auxiliaires are one of the like R unit that are in the game.
Yeah, they're very good.
It also has fairly decent duo capability because it can duo with Dactyls.
Yeah. Duos with an engineer. That's good.
Duos with an engineer. So
it's a little bit engineer as well.
Yeah. No, with 13.
Oh, with 13. Okay.
Yeah. They're good. Like those engineers are good. They're not bad.
Plus Rempres.
Yeah. I think it is. I'm gonna go with Tristan. I think it's S tier. I think that you guys could quibble whether it's better or worse than the Cutter. It's so cheap.
It's very cheap.
It's very cheap.
I think
my only problem is it's like mechanized trooper, not a character, and it should be a character. But
he should be a character.
Yeah.
But if he was a character, also count as a veteran, and then
its Cutter is its ancillary remote is whip 12, so it's a bit shit. Yeah. Continuous is huge.
Continuous AP is really, really good, and we're gonna get to that on another tag later. Spoilers.
A lot of tags you go, oh man, I'm not gonna put that TR bot all the way to dead. Oh, Agamemnon is gonna put that TR bot all the way to dead. So I think I really like Agamemnon.
Yeah, I'm happy just like whacking it at the bottom of S tier.
Okay, so I think the question is, comparing to the Cutter, how much of a difference does that 30 points make in the army that supports it?
Huge.
Yeah.
So I think
if Agamemnon was
Cutter.
If Agamemnon was 90 points, you wouldn't take it. Obviously not, but it's
I just think Pano supports the Cutter so well right now. Like it's never been better supported. Like you could make a big thing about losing Liang Kai. I think with the new stealth ops rule, especially the fact that you have like really viable close assaults that can walk into a DZ again is big.
Well, I think that Agamemnon is supported equally as well by Steel Phalanx. You have two linkable 25-point picture profiles that both have Trinity on them.
Yep.
Like that, I would argue that it's probably better supported in Steel Phalanx than the Cutter is in Vanilla Pano.
I like Agamemnon a lot, so I'm not particularly fussed about where it ends up going.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I've gotten a lot of what I want tonight, so
yeah, I like it. I like it enough that it will go above the Cutter.
I think the defining feature might be that Agamemnon is a lot easier to use than the Cutter is.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
And I guess easier to build an army around with the extra 30 points.
You're so happy spending 10 orders on Agamemnon. Like, if you like, you're like, oh, cool, I'm going to spend those 10 orders.
He's actually cheap enough that you don't like half the time. You don't care if he dies.
No,
He's very cheap. But he's hard to kill.
I mean, I put an Agamemnon list in. I don't know if you guys showed it, but I put an Agamemnon list in the show notes for the tag in the last episode.
Yeah.
And that had a lot. That is a lot of stuff in it, right?
A lot of
stuff.
So,
you can.
I'm going to go off on a little thing here. Is Therameses just better than Pandora was? I feel like it's close, right?
Therameses is good. Really good. Yes, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think.
He's a journalist, so he's a specialist. Wait, he's already a hacker.
Hey, this next tag.
Yeah, he's good. I don't know if he's that good.
How do we feel about Maximus? I feel. He's better than that. He's better than that. He's in C tier.
He's in C tier.
Something has to be in D tier.
Oh, there's more coming up.
There's more coming up.
All right. Well, if Max is in C tier, he's at the goddamn bottom.
Is it better or worse than the Long Wing?
Worse. He's 78 points.
He's
for a
so
burst
expensive.
force Thunderbolt.
Yep.
He's so expensive.
Like,
that is a prohibitive cost.
He's not a specialist until he takes 3 wounds. Thunderbolt's terrible. He has no AP. He's super expensive. And he's low even though he's immune arm. He's low armor. Like, regular ass HMGs are going to pop him eventually.
Yep. I would argue that he is the best escape system tag in the game. Which puts him at the bottom of C.
Oh, okay. So he goes.
No. Put him in C tier, Tristan.
Okay, he goes there.
Because he gets a full 3 structure as a tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just don't, I don't know. I've had people try and make me on Maximus. When are you ever going to take him over one of the other tags in Kestrel?
Hopefully never.
Yeah, like... I just don't see it.
Yeah.
He's
He's
paying so many points for the CC skills and immunity arm. So many points.
Yeah, you could he's like chalk and cheese to Agamemnon, right? So
yeah,
you're just paying way too much.
Yeah, 100%. What's that next tag? I can't tell from the picture.
It's the big titty Gorgos.
Oh, the big titty Gorgos.
Big titty Gorgos, I actually don't think is particularly good. Just because if I scroll down to the Gorgos,
it's Vita is the thing that's dragging it down.
It is Vita. It's Arm 7 on an S7 thing. It's AP instead of multi, and Viral fucks with it. It is cheap.
Who's BTS 9?
BTS 9, Tristan. Come on.
Yeah. But there's AP on some BTS weapons. It does dodge good.
Is it just like the Lasik you're thinking of here?
Yeah, 100%. And every EM.
Fucking Lasik pilled.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've taken a whole bottle.
It's just the same as any other tag.
Oh
I have it in
and
mid
it's got the best BTS in the game.
Yep.
Well,
honestly, I can't actually judge though because I'm not a Toha player. So, this is a hard one.
I'm gonna go with C for congratulations, you found the model.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about glow up from N4 to N5, it's fucking real good because it becomes a HMG and not a Spitfire.
Does it having the AP HMG do you just put it the top of C?
No. It's not better than a Chernabog.
I think it's better than a Chernabog.
No, I don't reckon.
It's 7 points more expensive and it's 7 points more expensive, doesn't go battle ravaged, has an extra wound at the end.
Can't press buttons until it takes 3 wounds.
The Chernabog's bot sucks.
Yes, but how much does that affect it in faction?
I don't know if the Gorgos is actually taken.
Yeah.
So
taken.
The Chernabog's taken all the time.
Yeah. I don't play against enough Toha, but I don't think I've ever seen the Gorgos on the table. Although I have seen a fair number of Toha players excited because they got their hands on the model.
Yeah. Do you just put it behind the Chernabog then?
Honestly, it's in your guys' hands. I've never once played against Toha.
I've played against Toha.
I think it's better than the Chernabog. I think it's better than the Chernabog only because it takes one more wound to get it to its transmutation state. Like, it's a tag for longer.
Sure. And it doesn't go battle ravaged, and it's around the same points.
Yeah.
How much AP is there
in Toha? Not a lot.
Toha.
Not a ton.
It's nothing.
So that might be one of its arguments for it then.
Like boarding shotguns, that's about it.
Yeah, they have Eclipse in K1.
They have Nema Satars and AP Spitfire. Actually, got AP Spitfire now? Oh, Nema Satars great.
They've got Eclipse in K1, which is what you look at generally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, K1's pretty good.
I think it probably just sits comfortably above the Chernabog.
Yep, I'm happy with that.
And then we can just go. Oh, Josh, it's your playground now.
Mechazoid Sokorentai.
Oh, I've not run this tag.
I think it's pretty mid.
What have I written down for S6 stealth, dodges 3 inches, climbing plus, combat instinct is cool, good CC skills, it's a lieutenant profile, has a template, however, it is arm 6, it's expensive, it's BS13 and religious.
Combat instinct is cool.
So Ivory is a Shinden player currently. They're wearing that hat right now. It is, quote, C in a faction that has Shizoku.
Yeah.
It is very expensive.
Yeah. I missed that the Spitfire was multi because it's
multi-Spitfire.
Spitfire multi, not multi-Spitfire.
Yeah.
Weird. It's a weird way to write that, isn't there?
That's for climbing plus.
I put it high C, low B because it's a stealth tag, and climbing plus got a little bit better.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
It's a stealth tag with climbing plus, which means that it can actually in a faction with smoke that can more reasonably get it into Spitfire range bands.
If you're taking that Spitfire.
I really like AP heavy machine guns with Panzerfausts. Because they ARO like multi heavy machine guns and don't pay the cost.
Yeah.
Combat instinct is cool. I think
it might be better in the context of vanilla.
Not really.
Because you don't have those linked Shizoku or anything like that.
I think it's better than the Guija.
Does it get to just sort of sit at the top of C tier?
I'm happy for that.
Is it better? Is it?
I think, yeah. Is it better than the Guija?
Depends on how much you value stealth.
Yeah, stealth is... I value stealth a lot. I don't know. Ivory's saying no, it's not, and they're a Shinden player.
I suppose it's a stealth tag in a faction that has lots of stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, right? Like,
alright, it's certainly better than the
Shizoku exists, is the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I like Ivory's argument of like the Shizoku sort of existing to put it in the limelight.
Cool.
Josh, how do you feel about the Oyuroi? You just got the nicest Oyuroi that anyone's ever owned.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the Oyuroi.
It's a tag that defends itself.
It's yeah. Look,
it insists upon itself.
Oh my god.
I have mid to high A. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But just 9-layer plus crazy koalas makes it a very difficult tag to approach.
There's so much with it.
So it's got a main issue, that none of the other tags have. Maybe the Chernabog. Its bot is 4/4.
Oh, true.
I don't think that's too much of an issue.
It is. Well, I guess it sort of depends on what
you
you're doing.
You just wait shit out the bot, right?
Yeah, you just wait to put it out, and
the
they don't have to stay in coherency.
The good thing is you go you go move Crazy Koala, move bot, right? Like it's got lots of things to do with its second thing.
Yeah.
It is Ivory is wrong. I don't think it's above the Cutter. If you're taking the Lieutenant Oyuroi, you're not taking the Chain of Command Kempai. It's not that dangerous. It's not dangerous enough that people like really try and go for it. I think that if you're taking Chain of Command Kempai when you're taking Oyuroi, you're a coward. Spend it on an Arago to kill Hanger instead. I think it's probably a. Is it better than a Stig? No. Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's definitively better than the Squalo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stealth, Crazy Koalas does a lot.
I think you can sit it between like a Swallow and a Stig pretty Swallow and a Tick pretty comfortably.
Is it? Well, is it better than a Tick?
I'd put it above the Tick.
I think it's better than a Tick. I think the Squalo and the Tick are pretty relative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could be argued into this.
I don't like. I've written in my notes. Stealth cannot be underrated. Like it's phenomenal. And it dodges, like, if you take the pilot, which is only, I think, 11 points, it dodges on 16s. It has the template. It has the lieutenant profile. Koalas are amazing. It protects itself in CC.
I think you can sit at the top of A. I think I'm okay with that.
I think the only real argument you'd have for making the Stig better isn't the Stig, but Bakunin.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, okay. I think the Stig goes into its own faction more smoothly than the Oyuroi.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I think I like it at the top of A. Like, stealth is so good. It's not paying a ton for those CC skills either. Like, it's a BS14, 78 points. It's the same sort of cost area as like a Raicho.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not overpaying for it. It's 3 points more expensive than the Lizard, right? Like, it's far. You're not overpaying.
It's 13.
Is it? That's 78, right? Sorry, yeah, wrong. I got the wrong number in my head. Sorry, you are right. 13. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
It's also
it's nice.
It's also in a faction that traditionally doesn't have a lot of shooting, and it's just a great line, like a great baseline shooter as well.
Yeah, I like it. Like, it fits it gives a faction that is sometimes reaching for a really good gun.
Yep.
Yeah, top of A tier feels fine to me.
Okay.
All right. My final argument.
I just put it in S tier. It's fine by me.
But we're in S tier.
Probably
so we're talking about the Zeta.
Yep.
I think it's better than the Cutter. I think O12 supports the Zeta phenomenally.
It supports a Lieutenant Zeta phenomenally because you have the best cock in the game.
To the point where I said on Infinity the Dante O12 review that if you go to a tournament with O12, one of your lists should have a Zeta in it every single time.
100%.
Is it better than Aggie? I think the Zeta just has everything you want.
Man, it gives it spot climb plus. That's huge.
It's a HRMC.
The fixed climbing plus is huge.
Yeah. HRMC, Rempres, good LT profile. Guided -8 has been legitimized after 3 factions.
So funny. The issue is it lost A order, right? So it is essentially the same model as it was in N4. It has lost an order, and it no longer has Liang Kai in his faction as well.
Yes.
I think
It's also...
I think I like it.
It also has the Zetbot, which keeps climbing plus.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Which, I think most other climbing plus tags do not have that on their bot.
Oh, well, that's funny.
Does the bot for the Mechazoid and the Oyuroi get stealth? I don't think it does.
No,
it would be amazing if it does. Bugger.
Is it better than Agamemnon?
So I actually kind of like
the Mechazoid one gets climbing plus.
I actually kind of like Ivory's argument here. Like, once you get heads down, Aggie's, like, Steel Phalanx have a better follow-up with that, where they send in, like, the Punch Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think don't think O12 has a bad that. They just don't have. I suppose they don't have the Link Team version of that. But there is like Hippie and
when O12 gets heads down, it sends in bloody crushes. Like it's.
I mean, how many O12 lists are you writing that can afford both a Zeta and Hippolyta?
Ivory wrote one. It was really good. I think they won 3-4 games at BCB with it. Not that that's an argument for N5.
No, it's not.
That
Again, it's a completely different edition.
I do understand. I think the only thing that really lets O12 down versus Steel Phalanx is the lack of link teams. But it's kind of hard to judge. It's kind of hard to judge that.
Well, it's also like, what's your other gun in the Zeta list, right? Because it's hard to fit in another gun and follow up to punch.
Yeah.
No, it's cheaper than an Ouroi. It is 8 points cheaper than an Ouroi. Like,
yeah.
It is. Just the other mid-range stuff you want is like the 40 point, like the Raptor and Hippolyta and stuff like that. So you do kind of commit yourself a little top-endish, 12.
Yeah,
but I don't think
comparing between editions, right? Like comparing like Liang Kai to Hippolyta, that's like 20 whole points of difference.
You know what would be really funny if you put it at the top? We can actually say that the deadliest thing in the game is a Zeta on suppressive.
Jesus Christ! I think it sits behind Agamemnon.
Okay,
I agree.
It's behind Agamemnon because Agamemnon has his own follow-up plan, and the Zeta relies on its army to follow up.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Moving on to the Wrecker.
Oh, it's the best throwaway tag in the game. It's so cheap.
It's a fat man in Fallout.
It's so cheap.
Granted, we are talking about the Wrecker only having one profile, and that is the HRL +1 burst, correct?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Oh, yes.
BS attack AP on a template is with continuous damage.
It just ignores so much stuff.
Like, Tristan, you've done the math on this, right? And it just kills so many things so quickly that you don't expect it to.
It kills a Squalo in one order, like 28% of the time. Because the Squalo only has 6 armor. And 3 armor when it gets shot at. It's disgusting.
It's actually not hard. It's actually not too hard to fit into TLB Ivory. Like, I've built lists where you're like Prime and a Wrecker and other stuff pretty comfortably.
Yeah, especially the HRL 51 points. That's easy to fit into a list.
Yep.
Yeah, but Ivory, like in that, like, so in the example of like, oh, but what about a TR bot? It's like you just shoot the TR bot with a Prime. Like,
yeah, you don't treat the Wrecker as your only gun.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Remprez, it shoots a sun at you. It has template, it has courage. BCS 9 and S6 is excellent.
Yep.
It's bad against things with Mim, but your faction has really good MSV pieces. And it has linked pictures as well, so who cares? I think it's really good. Where does it go, though?
Really somewhere in A tier.
Yeah.
I think, so I do think that, like, BS13 Burst 3 does hold it back from, like, being, like, the top of A tier. Because it isn't, like, a guaranteed fight, right? Like, versus is something that's linked. You have one more dice than they do.
Yeah.
I think top of B is where I'd be really comfortable with it personally.
Yeah, I'm looking at A, and I don't think it's better than like a Marut or a Serif or a Squalo. Really?
Okay.
It's just so cheap is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like top of B feels really comfortable for it because it's so cheap and it will punch above its weight really nicely. But that burst 3 is gonna hold it back sometimes.
Yeah, and against especially against factions like Steel Phalanx, it could just potentially be cannon fodder.
Yeah, it's like, good luck, buddy.
He's just a 51-point aero piece.
Go fight Phoenix, see what happens.
Yeah, I think I rate it.
Yeah, that feels fine to me.
Cool, we're down to the bottom 3, the NA2 tags. First up, we have Scarface.
So, like, face-to-face, he doesn't compete with most of these tags, but in NA2, he provides options that
He
may not
provides a
always be
gun.
available. Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing that's
definitely
hampering Scarface.
somewhere in B.
I think potentially B or high
B.
high C at the
The only-
least.
The main issue with Scarface is the fact that you have to bring Cordelia.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest. That's the biggest downside.
Yes.
Mm.
But she's also, well, I guess in NA2, she's competing with a Monstrucker who can bring drop bears.
There's 6 points difference between a Monstrucker and Cordelia.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So, I think B is pretty comfortable for him. I think we can do that. We can do this one pretty quickly. Better than the Guija, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better than the Gator, yes or no?
Is he better than the Guija?
In faction, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Better than the Gator, yes or no?
Yeah,
I think so because it knows what it wants to do, and the Gator doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think it's better than the Raicho.
Yeah, better than the Raicho, yes or no, boys?
No, definitely
I don't
not.
think so.
Nope. Okay. Alright.
Excellent.
I do not have strong feelings about where Scarface gets to live. I think, again, right, where you're like, oh, he's a gun in NA2, it's like, yeah, but like if this is the gun you're going with, what's the rest of the list doing?
Yeah, I mean, what
you know,
NA2 army? I don't know any NA2s that are like.
It's like Drew's, basically. Drew's is
It's
like,
just
I
Drew's
need a gun
different.
so badly.
Bruce is like the only army that's taking it, I think.
Yeah.
I think Dante
compared to
ran
the-
Scarface in Akari.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe compared to the Raicho, it might be better in faction because it
Actually,
does
you know what?
something that the faction needs and doesn't have many options to do.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. We can put him above the Raicho, behind Maggie, and I think he sits pretty comfortably there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright.
That's getting, I think, too granular.
Yeah. What about the Trip Hammer?
Trippy boy.
Honestly,
Hey,
The
it's-
throwaway tag.
No way. No way is he A.
it's-
hey,
I want to go for at least the higher end of B just because it is
Really?
cheap.
he's,
And
the Trip Hammer's like a B tier tag at best.
It is.
Below
like,
the
I think
it's
one
bottom of
the-
B.
Yeah, I think it sits comfortably at the bottom of B, right?
No, I do want to hear what Nick wants to say. Sorry.
I would say,
Sorry,
like,
go ahead.
it plays like a heavy infantry tag.
Mm.
It's nice and cheap, but it also it fights more. Like, you pay heavy infantry tag prices for it, but it can fight a bit more like a main battle tag
That
because it's getting up to that armor 7.
no way.
It's
No
not fighting
way.
like a main battle tag because it doesn't have
no,
a
no.
main battle
No,
tag
sorry.
gun.
More like that than a heavy infantry tag.
Nah. Nah.
Sure.
It is I don't think it's a stronger fighter than a Gecko or a Xenotron.
Okay.
Because they both have better guns. Higher damage guns at the very least. Like a +2 damage multi-marksman +1 burst is better than what the Trip Hammer's bringing. And a K1 marksman is probably better than what the Trip Hammer's bringing.
Yeah.
Its main benefit is its cost. And those Spitfire
48
profiles
points, no SWC.
for a heavy shotgun HRL profile. But for the
That's
Spitfire
the one you're taking.
Yeah, the
no,
heavy
but-
shotgun HRL Panzerfaust +1 burst for 0 Swick.
Yes, for 0 Swick. Sometimes it rolls good on Biddy, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think it's better than a Guija, to be honest.
I didn't say
No,
it was
it's
better
not.
than a Guija.
Okay.
I don't think. Okay. Is it better than a Mechazoid? No. Is it better than a Bull Track?
Okay. Right. Sorry, I'm thinking of a they can't duo,
No,
or they can't pure duo in that. I think Hawk they can pure duo.
I like it. I like it. I like it more than a bull track.
Mm-hmm.
You like a trip hammer more than a bull track.
Yep.
Okay. Do you?
Interesting.
Okay, I think the bull track needs to go down a couple of places.
Where would you move the bull track down to, Josh?
I think bull track's worse than a Chernabog.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd put the trip hammer between the Chernabog and the bull track.
There.
Yeah.
That doesn't upset me to look at.
That's a perfect mark of a tier list.
Like the trip hammer is just like, it's, again, I know people who are like really die hard about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big heavy infantry. Like
yeah, it's like it's a Krezar Borak, but it has like half an extra wound. Except the Krezar has like Mim and has like the same amount of gun, but it doesn't cost
like
switch.
Like booty is booty, right? Like sometimes you'll high roll, sometimes you'll low roll.
I was saying a trip hammer's better than the Avatar. It's insane.
It is. It's nearly a third of the points.
As I say, for the cost of an Avatar, you could have 3 trip hammers, and like, I'd be pretty tempted by that, honestly. Three trip hammers could very easily kill a whole bunch of my opponent's Avatar orders.
We can get through this last tag, and if there's any alterations to be made, we can do it. It's the Anaconda. Is it the worst tag in the game? Yes.
Yes.
Last and least.
Yes. Last and certainly least.
Into the bottom of D tier.
I did look at this again and started by looking at the profiles because, like, AP Spitfire, HRL, Thunderbolt AP, like look at it, go like, okay, you have my attention. Like, what else? And then you compare it to everything else in any faction where it is, and it's overcosted and underperforms.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, in pretty much every faction that he's included in, Scarface for an AP Spitfire is like 2 points more or 1 point more.
Yeah, Scarface is like 1 to 2 points more, and you're right, is in almost every faction. And honestly, I think the Trip Hammer outperforms it even for the AP Spitfire profile.
Yes,
because the Trip Hammer is better when it's in Battle Ravage than the Anaconda is when the Operator pops out.
Yeah, that's so funny. That is so fucking funny.
Very, very true. And sometimes that trim hammer just pops off and goes, I have immune arm.
Oh, yeah.
Or I have +4 arm.
Yeah. Like, the only thing that the Anaconda has going for it over the Trip Hammer is BTS 6.
Oh, boy.
All right, I'm looking at this tier list. It's looking like a mighty fine tier list, but
I feel like
that C tier is looking a bit too fat. I think Max might have to get his tiny little head chopped off.
Drop Max down. And then we have the escape system tag.
Oh, that's true.
Oh my god.
The D tier is the escape system. Hell yeah. I'm going to rename it.
Max he's just so expensive.
78 points is a crime. It's a crime against humanity. For a burst 4 Thunderbolt.
Does the Long Wang go down to D tier?
It doesn't have an escape system, but it would make the chart look nicer.
That's not a reason.
We've got an orphan of the Long Wang. If we drop the orphan down to the next line, it'll be like cleaner.
It'll be cleaner if you move the Mechazoid up.
We could do that as well.
Ooh, okay.
Nah.
No?
I'll accept either.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Put the Mechazoid up. It can
we could let the patrons decide.
Patrons! Does the Mechazoid go up or does the Long Wang go down?
No, it's going to be like, fuck you for making me make choices that are fucking terrible. D, and the Wang?
Nah, it's Mechazoid goes up.
Mechazoid goes up? Alright.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so pretty.
There
Oh,
it
it's
is.
so much better.
Oh, that's a perfect bell curve if I've ever seen one.
It's well, slightly not perfect, but
Slightly not perfect,
I-
but it's fine.
I feel like I made out like a bandit.
I mean,
Yeah,
I got like the 2 main tags that I play in S and A, so I'm pretty happy.
I feel that. I quite like this. I feel like it'll start some discussion.
And
Can't wait for Tristan to edit that photo in.
yeah, it's a good spread, and it does show that like tags are more viable in N5.
So I think
there's-
the point there is a really good point to be made in terms of like talking about like tags in N4 compared to N5. Tags had more free reign in N4, but the things that are hurting tags in N5 aren't lethal generally. Like emitters are really good. Emitter is not a lethal weapon. Right? There's a difference between like an emitter like isolating and immobilizing you, so you have to like either use your switch on or your engineer, and a core-linked fuck you gun killing your tag just randomly.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Okay.
It's kind of crazy how much we like regressed the Serif from just a few days ago.
I don't think the Serif really dropped that much because a big part of it is how it functions in faction. And MO is struggling to come up with enough points to either keep the Serif or put support in for the Serif.
I think after I thought about it for a while, like even before the update, I don't think I had the Serif in S tier. But I might just be an outlier there.
In a different sectoral, it would be.
Absolutely.
Oh, if it was in vanilla,
it would be.
If it was in vanilla, it would be an S tier tag, 100%.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. I think so.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like this. I like this.
I like this a lot. I like this a lot.
I know many people who won't.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
the comments.
So we have
get the comments.
Escape system tags are grouped. All of our like duoing heavy infantry tags are grouped, and our battle ravage tags are grouped.
Look at that.
And our mind dispenser tags are pretty much grouped.
Oh yes, and our mind dispenser. No, our mind dispenser tags got split by Scarface.
Oh,
By
That's all right.
Scarface.
That's all right. There you
Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
Another group.
Scarface.
Excellent.
No,
go.
Scarface
No, he's
deserves
back.
that.
He's back there.
No, put Scarface back where we
No,
had him.
I think he
Absolutely
was.
not.
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
he gets
No.
All right. All right. Well, they kind
Your
of grouped.
your aesthetics don't deserve this.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Well,
Yeah.
everyone.
I feel really good about this. S tier looks really good, honestly. I like the mix of things we have in S.
Yep.
However, notably, all of them do have Remprez. I wonder if there's something to do with that.
Yes.
Consistency is key in a game like
WordPress,
Infinity.
good.
Consistency is good. Well, I think that will be it. So, until next time, I have been Jordan.
I've been Tristan.
I've been Nick.
And I've been Josh.
And we will see you
And
guys.
I just noticed you used the old Raicho
I did.
picture, and I'm a bit
Yes.
perplexed. Okay.
Because it looks pretty.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
See ya.
Good night.